brings his Vanderbilt Commodores to the Swamp. The Vanderbilt, Florida game is next. SEC football from the Swamp is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Lights. Game day in Gainesville, and the Gators faithful happy to have their heroes back home for an SEC showdown between Florida and Vanderbilt. Good afternoon, everybody. Bob Rathman, Tim Couch. A pleasure to have you with us today from Gainesville, Florida. It has been a season of turmoil for the Gators, but, Tim, one constant has been their stout defense, and they've got three outstanding playmakers in the secondary.
Well, they really do. In my opinion, the strength of this defense is that secondary, and they have three great players, Vernon Hargraves, Marcus Roberson, but Luchez Purifoy is a guy that has stood out all season long, making game-changing type plays, and here you see him lined up in the nickel position, playing in the slot. Watch the instincts that Luchez Purifoy has as he keys the quarterback. He sees the eyes. He understands what route is coming. He's able to break underneath the wide receiver and take that to the house for a touchdown. Here, they also like to use him in the blitz game as well. He's coming off the short corner, the backside of the quarterback. He has great timing on his blitzes. He also got one for a safety against Aaron Murray last week. So those three cornerbacks, they're going to be special players. They're going to have their hands full in these one-on-one matchups today against these Vandy wide receivers.
So for Vanderbilt to spring the upset today, they must win some of these one-on-ones, and their go-to guy, of course, is Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, Jordan Matthews. If you're a quarterback and you get an opportunity to play in these type of games where defenses are going to challenge you in one-on-one matchups, who better to throw the football to than Jordan Matthews, one of the all-time leading receivers in the history of the Southeastern Conference. Jordan is really looking forward to this matchup with these defensive backs today.
Jordan, the all-time SEC leader in career receiving yards this year. He is #1 in the conference in catches per game. So the stage is set. It's the Gators against the Commodores from the Swamp.
It's a new way, a new day has come. Let's not live for yesterday. A short life and a passion for a new freedom. I want to live for today. Time to brace yourself.
Back in Gainesville, the Gators take the field. Out to stop a three-game losing streak against the Vanderbilt Commodores this afternoon. The head coach of the Gators is Will Muschamp. And the Vanderbilt Commodores are the opponents today. And Elizabeth Morrow, one major advantage for the men of James Franklin, an off week.
Well, Bob, that is right. And during that off week, Coach Franklin decided to rest 26 of his starters and give them that time, hoping that that would be more beneficial than the reps. And then he absolutely dialed it up. He said, we have to match Florida's desperation and intensity. Today, we have to play with a play-off game mentality. For Florida, Coach Muschamp said it was easy. After that emotional loss, we have to eliminate all of the clutter. They have to be more consistent on offense. He said it has to start today. And, Bob, this Florida Gator team just thrilled to be back at home.
It has been over a month, and of course this is one of the great home field advantages in college football. Florida 3-0 in this stadium this season, and they've won 10 consecutive home games. The Chamber of Commerce provided the weather. 73 degrees. The wind is pretty strong at the top of the stadium, but not too much on the floor of the field as we get set for the kickoff. 14-mile-an-hour wind overall out of the east-northeast. The Commodores getting set to return the kick. Darius Sims has become quite a weapon in the return game. #6. He's the leader for Vandy in returning kicks this season. Austin Harden getting ready to boot it away for Florida. And we are ready for SEC football. Toe meets leather underway in Gainesville. On a bounce, this goes through Sims' hands and out of the back of the end zone for the touchback. So here come the Commodores, and it will be their freshman. Our Toyota starting quarterback for Vanderbilt is Patton Robinette.
Patton Robinette starting for the injured Austin Carter Samuels in this football game, making only his second career start last time out against Texas A&M. In his first start, he struggled like most freshman quarterbacks do in this league. But I think what Vanderbilt's going to do here today is simplify things in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage for Patton Robinette. Not ask him to do too much as far as checks and audibles at the line. Allow him to play fast, and hopefully that'll get this Vanderbilt offense off to a fast start.
Bit of a hole as the Commodores stick it on the ground right away, and the first tackle of the day goes to Leon Orr, their outstanding nose man. The Toyota key defensive performers: Dante Fowler up front, the sophomore; Antonio Morrison, the man in the middle, and the guy you talked about, Tim, Vernon Hargraves, the precocious freshman.
He's going to be a special player out of that corner. Only a freshman, but already 3 interceptions on the season.
Ron Seymour had the first carry of the day, now second and long for Vanderbilt. Matthews. And a first down for the Commodores out at the 41-yard line. So we talked about Jordan Matthews, and they dial him up on second and long.
Yeah, one thing they're going to try to do today, what they're going to try to do every game, obviously, is get the football into the hands of Jordan Matthews, whether it be on these screens or deep down the field. One thing Jordan Matthews does possess besides a big body is the ability to run after the catch, and you saw a little bit of that there.
Matthews, the senior from Madison, Alabama. Vandy was his only scholarship offer coming out of high school. Seymour. And out of bounds into Florida territory at the 48-yard line. This is not the easiest defense to run against. Florida, number 2 in the conference and 16th in the nation, just over 100 yards a game.
And a nice job of blocking up front. The right guard, Spencer Pulley, pulling around. The fullback, Fitz Lassing, number 38, a guy who's going to continually lead the way for this football team in the run game. But a nice start early on in this football game. It's been an issue for Vanderbilt all season long, is moving the football on opening drives and in the first quarter. But so far, so good for this offense.
Seymour is the leading rusher for Vandy this year. In the Gator territory. And a whistle. Timeout, Commodores.
Timeout. Vanderbilt. First timeout of the half.
And James Franklin upset with his quarterback, wants him to go faster.
That will stop the clock at 13:21. Vandy talks things over. 13:21, first quarter. Vanderbilt on their opening drive. Commodores first and 10 from the Florida 47. Inside handoff to Brian Kimbrough. To the 44. Patton Robinette, the freshman, coming in to start this game. Baptism as a starter at Texas A&M. Tim, you remember what it was like to be a freshman in this arena?
Unfortunately, I do. I made my first career start at the University of Kentucky here in this swamp, and I don't remember what the score was. It was 1996, and they beat us at least 60-0 or so. So I know how tough it is on a freshman quarterback to come in here and perform on a stage like this.
Seymour to the 43 before Michael Taylor caught up with the play from behind.
Getting back to that a little bit, Bob, but it's so important to have this type of success early on for a freshman quarterback like Patton Robinette. Get the ball completed, get this running game going a little bit, take a little bit of pressure off of the young quarterback.
Matthews breaks one tackle and gains close to the sticks, but apparently a yard short. Let's take a look at our Ford keys to the game.
Well, the Ford keys for Vanderbilt, they're going to have to win these one-on-one matchups. These Gator defensive backs are going to walk up and challenge. They're going to have to make the contested catches. And for Florida, I think they have a big advantage on that defensive line. They need to control the line of scrimmage, stop this Vandy running game, and get pressure with that front four on Patton Robinette.
On 4th and 1, the Commodores go for it. pressure. First down. And then some to the 30-yard line for Robinette.
Great play call that time by offensive coordinator John Donovan. You see Dante Fowler, they leave him unblocked. He gets up the field, and it's a quarterback draw all the way. You see the offensive lineman getting in front, getting a hat on those linebackers. You only need 1 yard. Patton Robinette has shown some mobility. He's a big kid at 6'4", but he already on the season in limited action has 3 rushing touchdowns, so he's a guy that can move around in the pocket.
Vanderbilt is now 13 of 18 on 4th downs this year. Out of the eye. Seymour. A gain of a yard. Jabari Gorman, the tackler for Florida. Seymour is a native Floridian out of Hialeah, sophomore. Vandy 4 wins, 4 defeats. Same spot as they were in a year ago. And then for the first time in history, ran the table in November to finish 8-4. Seymour looking for a hole, finding nothing. Antonio Morrison plugged that hole quickly. Now 3rd and long.
A little conservative with that play call that time. A lot of guys in the box for that Florida Gator defense. It's hard to block them all up. You're going to have, you see some free hitters here. They get the double team on Fowler, but there's just nowhere to run for Jerron Seymour. An opportunity down the field that time. It was man coverage across the board for Vanderbilt. They had an opportunity to throw the football. Now they're faced with a 3rd and long.
Vandy goes 4 wides. Noise increases as Robinette fakes, looks, now he's scrambling. Robinette's got to run. He's got some daylight. 20, 15, down to the 10. First down, Vanderbilt. And Robinette makes another big play with his feet.
Another confidence-building play for Patton Robinette. A great job in that Florida secondary. Initially, nowhere to go with the football for Patton Robinette, but he does a nice job of extending the plays, and that's what he's going to have to do. Sometimes these defensive backs, we've talked about them already early in this football game, how good they are. They're going to shut you down in the secondary sometimes. When they do, Patton Robinette has to do just that, make plays with his legs.
Vandy comes up to the line quickly. Seymour wrestled it to the ground by Antonio Morrison.
We're in an area of the field now where Vanderbilt has been one of the best in the Southeastern Conference all season long in the red zone. They're number 2 in the red zone, and they get touchdowns down here, not field goals, in their 34 attempts so far this season. They walked away with 26 touchdowns. So a crucial area here for Vanderbilt today. They've got to continue to get touchdowns down in this area of the field, not field goals.
Vandy 88% scoring in the red zone. 26 times a touchdown out of 34 attempts. 8:50 left. First quarter. Opening drive for the Commodores. Robinette throws it to the end zone, and it's going to be caught. And it is incomplete, out of bounds. Jordan Cunningham.
They get freshman on freshman, Jordan Cunningham on Vernon Hargraves, and I thought initially that he caught the ball inbounds. Let's see if he has possession and a foot gets down. It doesn't look like that foot was able to get down. It just comes down on the paint, but a great job that time of selling the inside route, getting to the outside, leaving his quarterback room to get that football up and down. He just wasn't able to secure the catch and get a foot down inbounds.
But you like that play call.
I really like that play call. That's an opportunity to say, we're going to challenge you deep down the field. You want to walk up and play us and press man-to-man coverage. We believe in our wide receivers, and we're going to take shots down the field at you.
Timeout.
Timeout, Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, second timeout.
So the Commodores burn a second timeout in this opening drive. And I know the coach is frustrated, but you've got a freshman quarterback trying to make some very important decisions. They'll talk it over, and we'll come back. Thrown in to the Georgia game after the injury to Austin Carter Samuels. His first start came at Texas A&M. His second start in the Swamp. And Patton Robinette trying to march Vanderbilt down the field and into the end zone. against arguably the SEC's toughest defense. Robinette. Nothing. Dropped at the 13. Damian Jacobs.
I think Vanderbilt is going to be fine with settling for a field goal in this area of the field. I talked earlier about how they want to walk away with touchdowns down in this area, but when you're backed up in a 3rd and long situation like they were there, not able to get anything on 1st and 2nd down, the last thing you want to do is have your young quarterback turn the football over down here, at least to start the game. You at least want to get these 3 points on the board for your offense.
This will be officially a 31-yard attempt for Kerry Spear. Just inside the upright. Good. And Vanderbilt is on the board. Kerry Spear connecting with his 7th field goal of the season. Vandy takes the opening kickoff, drives it, scores a field goal, 3-0.
Get you up to speed on all the early games.
Thank you, sir. 3-0 Vanderbilt. Commodores drive at 62 yards, 14 plays. It took 7:04 off the clock, 10 rushing plays, and 3 passing plays. The points coming off the toe of Kerry Spear, 31-yard field goal, 3-0 in favor of the Commodores. Spear now getting ready to kick it away, and a real weapon in returns, Solomon Patton in his own end zone for the Gators. Patton averaging close to 30 yards per kick return. This one out of the end zone and a touchback. As Vanderbilt has been forced to go with their backup quarterback, so too the Florida Gators. Our Toyota starter is the redshirt junior from Connecticut, Tyler Murphy.
Exactly. Tyler Murphy's the guy who's kind of forced into action, much like Pat and Robinette in the Tennessee game when Jeff Driscoll goes down, and his performance has been a little bit up and down so far this season. He can do some good things. He's got a nice arm. He's got really good mobility, and I think that's what we're going to see a lot of today with the issues on that offensive line, some guys playing out of position. I think they're going to move the pocket quite a bit for Tyler Murphy today, allow him to get on the perimeter of that Vanderbilt defense and give him that run-pass option.
Kelvin Taylor breaking a tackle and gaining a couple of yards on his own out to the 27-yard line. Let's take a look at the Toyota defensive leaders for Vanderbilt. Always strong up front. The senior from Birmingham, Walker May. Darian Herring has put together a great season at linebacker, and nobody better in that secondary in the SEC in solo tackles than Kenny Ladler.
Yeah, the 2 safeties for Vanderbilt, Kenny Ladler and Javon Marshall, both very active players in the run game and also good in cover.
The flare comes to the near side, and this is a completed pass up to Showers, and he'll take it to about the 39-yard line. So getting the sophomore out in some space.
The time Vanderbilt comes with the blitz, you'll see off the edge, number 28 right here, Carl Butler comes off the slot, and that's what frees the running back out of the backfield open on the swing pass, and a nice gain. And Florida coming with a little tempo here up to the line of scrimmage, ready to snap this football against this Vanderbilt defense.
A 12-yard pickup. Nothing for Taylor as he scrambles back to the line of scrimmage. Kyle Westman. Boy, what a player. Leads Vanderbilt with 4.5 sacks. The junior from Marietta, Georgia, has had a splendid season.
He really has. And these 2 defensive ends, Kyle Westman and Walker May, they're going to have big games here today. I mentioned that Florida offensive line banged up. They're starting a true freshman, Trenton Brown, at 1 tackle. And now they have what was their left guard, Max Garcia, bumped out to left tackle. So they're going to have an opportunity to make some plays today.
Murphy controls it, throws it over the middle. This is complete to the 45-yard line. As Trey Burton makes his first catch of the afternoon. Breaks the tie with Patton as the leading receiver for the season for the Gators.
Trey Burton lined up here in the middle of the field, and this is an area where Florida is going to attack this Vanderbilt secondary all day long. You're going to see them in the seams and work in the middle of that Vanderbilt zone defense.
Pickup of 16. 1st and 10 from the 45. Murphy unloads the deep ball down the sideline. Incomplete. One-on-one down the sideline for Solomon Patton, and he was working against Andre Hal.
The fans are kind of wanting a penalty that time, but I think the football was so severely underthrown. He's really going back into that wind you mentioned early, Bob, and the ball came up so far behind Solomon Patton. He tried to come back and get it, but Andre Hal was in good position.
A lot of experience for Vandy back there, Tim, with Hal and Clark at the corners, both seniors. Marshall Ladler, both seniors at safety.
Yeah, very experienced secondary for sure.
On the toss, Taylor and Vandy. Great lateral pursuit and a loss on the play of a yard.
I'll tell you, and Andre Hal, the corner, made that play. He forced that football back inside and allowed Carl Butler, number 28, the linebacker, to pursue it from the inside out. But the fullback, Hunter Joyer, was out there trying to kick out Andre Hal, and he forced it back inside.
Let's take a look at the forward keys for the Gators offensively.
Well, for the Gators, you're going to have to protect your quarterback. You're already on your number 2 quarterback. The last thing you can do is afford to lose him in this football game. And for Vanderbilt, one thing they've struggled on defense all season long is creating some turnovers. They're going to have to do that, give their young quarterback an opportunity and set him up in good field position.
Murphy complete to the 35-yard line of Trey Burton, the senior from Venice, Florida. That is right at the stick. And it is a first down for Florida. They now move the chains. 1st and 10 from the Vanderbilt 35. Trey Burton. He's involved, particularly scoring touchdowns. That usually spells victory for the Gators. Toss sweep. And to the 27-yard line for Kelvin Taylor. Clark came up to apply the hit. Barrett Dixon also caught in the wash.
It looks like what this Florida Gator offense wants to do here against Vandy today is run the perimeter. We've seen a lot of toss sweeps already to Kelvin Taylor, some stretch plays to Taylor, get him out on the edge, and also they're attacking the middle. I think Vanderbilt is paying a lot of attention to Quentin Dunbar and Solomon Patton on the outside, and that's freeing Trey Burton over the middle. We've already seen him make 2 big catches early in this first quarter.
The 23. Kelvin last week made his first career start against the Georgia Bulldogs. Responded with 20 carries, 76 yards. And running the football well runs in the family.
Yes, it does. His dad, a tremendous football player here at Florida, Fred Taylor, and also in the NFL with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Had an opportunity to play with Fred. I was in Jacksonville for a short time, and I was trying to make a comeback after a shoulder injury, and just a true pros pro. His dad was Fred Taylor, great running back.
Quarterback keeps it, and Murphy is taken down at the 27-yard line. Jakari Thomas comes up to make the stick for Vanderbilt in a big defensive play.
That's exactly what Vanderbilt needed in this football game. Florida driving down the field, getting big plays on first down, setting it up in second and workable situations. Now you're going to see Jakari Thomas come off the edge here. He's going to work around. He's going to keep the eyes in the backfield, a little play action going on, but Jakari Thomas plays his responsibility, doesn't go chasing from the backside, and is able to get Tyler Murphy on the ground and set up a second very long situation for these Gators.
Second negative play for the Commodores defense. Murphy out of the gun. Scrambles. Pressure to the outside. Now throws toward the end zone. Incomplete. Trey Burton trying to make a circus catch with one hand. It will be 3rd and 14.
good effort that time from Trey Burton and also Tyler Murphy. Gave his receiver an opportunity to go up and make that play. Put the football in the only chance where his guy got it or no one else did. Javon Marshall does a nice job coming over from his safety position, but you'll see Murphy extending the play. That's what he's going to have to do today. Get out on the perimeter, get those legs involved, but that's the only spot you can miss it. High and away, if the receiver goes up and makes a great play for you, then you take the risk of the interception out of the play.
Murphy, pocket collapses, throws, and incomplete. He was under siege. 3 different Commodores led by Walker May, putting a lot of heat on him, and a big third down sack, if you will.
And Walker May that time working on left tackle over there. It's Max Garcia, and also the running back Kelvin Taylor was also trying to help out as well, but a good job of just getting rid of that football from Tyler Murphy, finding someone so he could deliver it where it wasn't intentional grounding and saving an opportunity to keep this field position and allow a field goal attempt.
Austin Harden will attempt a 44-yard field goal to tie the game. And this one is no good, wide right. Again, the wind perhaps a bit of a factor. 2:21 left, opening quarter, 3-0 Vandy.
SEC College Football is brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, Frost Brewed Coors Light, Regions Bank, and Ram Trucks.
Homecoming 2013 on the campus of the University of Florida here in Gainesville. Nothing, of course, galvanizes a school like football and homecoming. And a lot of friends, families reunited on a very special weekend. Here are the Coors Light cold hard facts for today. And neither team, Tim, has had any offensive success in opening quarters this year. Now we should say today there's only been 2 drives, one each way, but a season-long problem putting points on the board in the opening period for both ball clubs. And right away, Brian Kimbrough breaks one over the 35 to the 36.
Kimbrough's a guy they want to continue to get the football to. He was in a little bit of the doghouse in James Franklin's doghouse early in the season, but now he's getting some more reps and some more playing time. Only a sophomore, but you see the explosion, the ability to put his foot in the ground and cut back against the grain.
Kimbrough out for a breather, the sophomore at 31 yards at Texas A&M. Freshman Pat Robinette at quarterback goes to Seymour on the toss, and the Gators shut it down. Damian Jacobs, the senior. You know, one of so many Gators that have had injury problems this season, but he's back in a big way.
Yeah, Damian Jacobs does a great job of just sliding down the line. He feels that offensive line from Vanderbilt that time. They pulled the center in the guard, so he just slid in right behind him and was able to make a stop.
Now the Commodores are faced with a 3rd and 4 as we near the end of the opening quarter. Robinette over the middle, incomplete. Matthews was the intended receiver. And it will be a 3-and-out for the Commodores. Brian Poole defending on the play.
Brian Poole, the nickelback, that's what they do with Jordan Matthews. They move him around quite a bit. That time they had him on the inside, and they got the matchup that they wanted on the nickelback, Brian Poole. I thought it was a good football delivered by Pat Robinette, but Jordan Matthews not able to come down with it.
Taylor Hudson will punt. That's Marcus Roberson deep on his own 25. Been a bit of a challenge lately for Vandy. Hudson's putting. Up to take it, Roberson, and he is met and dropped at the 24-yard line as that ball popped free. And the 43-yard punt is recovered by Davis.
Davis does a good job of hustle that time because Roberson put that football on the ground. Could have very easily went the other way and set Vanderbilt up with an opportunity to put some more points on the board here in the first quarter. So way to be alert and good hustle that time by Davis.
They will mark the football at the 23-yard line. And the Gators will take over with just 52 seconds left in the period. Murphy will give. And Matt Brown with his first carry of the day.
Good stop that time by Chase Garnham. Chase Garnham, a senior linebacker, a guy that they've really missed in that linebacker rotation. They've been playing a lot of young guys, and Garnham out with the injury. This is his first game back, I guess, in the last...
Since the opener.
Since the opener, yeah. So they're happy to get him back onto the field. Not sure how many plays he's going to get because of all the time that he's had off, but certainly, as you can see, he makes an impact on this defense.
Interception. And he's out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Tyler Murphy threw it up for grabs, and Andre Hal comes up with his first interception of the season.
Well, it was a misread that time from Tyler Murphy. Let me show you what's going on. He thinks it's going to be a quarters coverage, and he thinks this corner is going to drop, but it's a cover two. He's got help over the top with the safety. The last thing you want to do as a quarterback is throw the football against a rolled up corner in cover two. And like you said, Bob, it was a bad throw as well, but he also just badly misread that coverage. He thought the flats were going to be open, and there's the senior Andre Hal sitting there waiting. And now, that's what I said, is one of the keys for this Vanderbilt defense. They have to create some turnovers, put Vandy in opportunities to score on a short field. And here they go. Vanderbilt has to capitalize.
Seymour. 5, spins to the 3, to the goal line. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. Jerron Seymour takes it to the house. And they are stunned in Gainesville. 9-0 Vandy. The turnover equals 6. And James Franklin there to congratulate his freshman quarterback. Spear to kick the PAT.
Spear, the extra point.
And the kick is good. 3 seconds left in the quarter, and Vanderbilt has constructed a 10-0 lead.
Good job by that offensive line for Vanderbilt that time, and also tough running from Jerron Seymour. The guy's only 5'7". He's hard to see behind that offensive line, and you can see the low center of gravity that he has, the balance, and the ability to finish off runs. And he takes that thing to the house and puts a big touchdown on the board for Vanderbilt.
A 10-yard touchdown run. And for Seymour, that is his 10th rushing touchdown this season. And the interception by Andre Hal, setting up the short field. And Vanderbilt did, Tim, exactly what they needed to do.
They really did. They've gotten off to a fast start, which is one thing that James Franklin told us. We have to get off to a fast start. We got so behind early in some football games, and it really took us out of our game plan where we wanted to stay balanced and run the football. It forced us to throw the football, especially when you have a young quarterback like Patton Robinette. You have to stay in the football game and not have to abandon your game plan so early, and that's exactly what this allows them to do.
Vanderbilt has scored 24 first-quarter points all season. They have 10 today. Solomon Patton is the deep man for Florida, always a threat. And Kerry Spear to kick it away for Vandy. And the ball's off the tee. It is a pensive crowd, to say the least, in Gainesville.
It really is, and that's exactly what Vanderbilt needed to do to get off to this fast start. Not only give confidence to their offense, but also take this crowd out of it. It's very difficult playing in the swamp and communicating at the line of scrimmage. Now, with the big lead, the 10-0 lead, they're able to do that more often.
And putting pressure on the Florida offense to come from behind. They were buried early last week against Georgia. Oh, and down. Wrestled finally at the 26-yard line. There were bodies flying everywhere. Kerry Spear, the kicker, came down. Leveled a blow. And for Vandy, shaken up on the play is McGaster.
I don't know who was it. Was it the kicker Spear that made the hit on Patton? Yeah, look at the kicker get down the field and deliver the big hit. I don't know how Patton stayed on his feet.
I don't either.
He got a little help from one of his teammates as he was kind of trying to spin off that thing and regained his balance. But boy, what a collision that time on special teams.
I saw Davis go flying. I thought that was Patton.
A lot of bodies flying.
Oh, man. And an injured Commodore as we come to the end of the first quarter in Gainesville. 10-0 Vandy. Start of the second quarter here in the Swamp. 10-0 in Vanderbilt's favor. And another Commodore injury to report coming into the game today. Let's go down for more. And Elizabeth.
Bob, thank you. Well, Jonathan Krause was questionable with that leg injury 2 weeks ago. And I walked over to the Vandy sideline, and he is on the sideline in his jersey, gym shorts, and running shoes. Apparently, he will not play today. And, Tim, we were really hoping to see him play with the way that teams have been double-teaming Jordan Matthews this year.
He's an important part of that Vanderbilt offense, no doubt about it, Elizabeth. Vanderbilt, Jordan Matthews, and Jonathan Krause, they're the second leading receiver duo in the SEC behind Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry at LSU. So big blow for Vanderbilt.
Kelvin Taylor. Andre Hal with the tackle. And the gain to the 32-yard line. A Florida offense that has struggled, and that is an understatement.
It really is. And like you said, Bob, that's a very good point. Down early in this football game, 10-0. Does that change Florida's game plan a little bit? Are they going to be forced to throw the football a little more with Tyler Murphy? One thing this offense has lacked all season long is explosive plays down the field. They're going to have to get some of those today.
They ride the option with Showers. And he's out at the 36-yard line. Stephen Clark was there to push him out. Showers had a big gain in the first quarter.
And they come with the zone read. Tyler Murphy does a nice job of holding it to the last second, making the defensive backs and the linebackers commit into him because of his ability to run the football as a quarterback. And he's able to hand it to Showers at the last second and get the corner of that Vanderbilt defense.
3rd and 2. Hit and driven back is Taylor. As that time, Javon Marshall and Herring coming up to stop that play and force the punt.
Big time hit that time from Herring. Florida goes with an extra offensive lineman in the game. They go with 6 offensive linemen, an obvious run formation, but no one got a hat on Darren Herring. He's able to scrape over the top of that play and force a 3 and out from these Florida Gators.
With the punt, Johnny Townsend. Fair catch at the 22-yard line. 13:21 to play. Second quarter, Vandy 10, Florida nothing.
The one, it's now 14-3 Tigers, back to Gainesville.
Welcome back. Our Hyundai game summary here. With Vanderbilt on top 10-0. Seymour 24 yards rushing. Tyler Murphy 39-yard passing, and that INT was a big one. It led to Vandy's touchdown. Seymour from 10 yards. Freshman quarterback Patton Robinette, a former Gatorade High School Player of the Year in Tennessee. Out of Maryville. Will throw and nearly picked. Boy, Hargraves was right there. That would have been a pick 6.
You got to be careful when you're throwing the football against these Florida Gator defensive backs. Vernon Hargraves, that time you're going to see him and Jordan Matthews lined up here. They're going to bring Matthews all the way across the formation, try to sneak him out in the flat, but it's pressure in the face of Patton Robinette, and that's what forces the ball to come up behind Jordan Matthews, and you have to be careful. They challenge every single throw. No easy throws in the secondary against those Florida Gators.
Seymour. Stopped at the 23-yard line by the big bear, Darius Cummings. Michael Taylor was there. Also Bullard getting off the pile. Big John out of Shelby, North Carolina.
Bullard has played inside and outside for this Florida Gators defense this year. This game, we're going to see him most of the time at the defensive end position. He's been a really good, solid football player. That whole defensive line is making an impact in this football game already.
Robinette sacked at the 16. Leon Orr was one of the Gators there. Also pressured. Dante Fowler crashing through. And Robinette picks himself up, heads back to the sideline.
Orr gets there for the sack, and it's one area of concern that James Franklin had coming into this football game. Can we block these guys? Vanderbilt has given up a league-leading 26 sacks so far this season, so Florida feels like they can get home early in the first quarter. They were only rushing 4 guys and not able to get to Robinette. That time, they bring a little bit of pressure, and they're able to get home.
Hudson with the punt. Roberson watches this one sail out of bounds. This has been a problem for Hudson of late. Short punts. There is a flag. Penn Wages, our referee this afternoon. Long chat there with Terry Walters. So we wait on their decision. And the clock is ticking.
Pretty serious discussion going on down there.
Penn will straighten it all out for us. I have the utmost confidence.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 4th down.
All right. It's a lot of talk for an offsides penalty, isn't it?
Yes. Well, the Commodores will be forced to punt again. Hudson, the game at Texas A&M, had some trouble with the wind and kicking the ball off the side of his foot. One went for 17, one went for 31 down in College Station. Short punts also plagued him against Georgia. And this will give Marcus Roberson one more chance. Second in the conference in punt returns at 11.3. That penalty, the first of today's game. Beautiful punt this time. Roberson backpedals to his 25. A little bit of a seam. And a solid return to the 41. So decent field position now for the Gators. A 53-yard punt, 17-yard return. And another flag has been dropped. And this has been an ongoing problem area for the Gators. Let's see if it goes against Florida. Florida's
During the kick, holding number 37 on the defense, receiving team. Occurred during the kick. The ball will be 10 yards from where the kick was caught, initially caught.
Ooh,
wow,
so that penalty is going to take it back to the 15.
Yeah,
wasn't the ball caught at the 25?
I think so. Yeah, it's going to move it back significantly. You're talking about getting the ball set up near midfield, and now it looks like they're going to spot that thing right at the 25-yard line and then walk off the penalty from there. So yeah, you're going back to the 15. That was Mark Herndon on the hold. So yeah, you go from thinking you're set up in good field position to being backed up.
And a timeout on the field. 11:30 is the time remaining here before halftime. 10-0 Vandy.
SEC College Football is brought to you in part by Hyundai, Academy Sports and Outdoors, Frost Brewed Coors Light, and Husqvarna.
Along with Tim Couch, Elizabeth Morrow, Bob Rathman, and the great women and men in our crew. Bob Rathman here in Gainesville, a 10-0 lead for the Commodores, and they haven't had a lot to chop about so far. And now the Gators are backed up first and 10 on their own 15. Play action on first down. Hit as he throws. This one down the sideline and picked off by Ladler. Kenny Ladler for the Commodores on the return. And out of bounds in another short field for Vanderbilt. Tyler Murphy had a defender right around his knees as he tried to unload that football.
Well, he predetermined where he was going to throw the football. He was locked into Quentin Dunbar. They got the big play on this same type of play in this area of the field in the Georgia game for over an 80-yard pass completion, but it was double coverage that time. Plus, Murphy was being pulled down. He couldn't step in and get anything on the throw. And Kenny Ladler, we've talked about him, the senior safety. He leads this football team in tackles. That's his third interception of the season, and he's just like a center fielder out there playing that football. So he sets this Vanderbilt offense up once again with tremendous field position.
From the Gator 22, third pick for Ladler this year. Seymour on the delay. Tries to turn that corner. And a gain to the 16.
Interesting way that Vanderbilt gets to that Wildcat formation. Patton Robinette lined up in the backfield initially, and then all of a sudden he comes out in motion and lines up as a wide receiver. That forces a lot of communication between those linebackers and safety of Florida, and then they run the counter play with Seymour.
Tim, is it harder for Vandy to do all that on the road?
Well, I think it would be if the crowd was more into this game. It's harder to communicate that kind of stuff, but the way they've been able to perform, they've gotten a couple turnovers, they've gotten 10 points up on the board already, so this stadium is nowhere near as loud as it normally is.
Again, Seymour on the direct snap. Just weaving and grinding yards down to about the 12-yard line. Yeah, the fan base here is not particularly happy. Obviously not all, but a vocal lot here, and the turnover just brought out more boo birds.
Right, this time you're going to see Patton Robinette. He's lined up down at the bottom of the screen. That's your quarterback, and it really expands the defense, and then they're going to pull the offensive lineman and also the fullback Fitz Lassing, and it's a counter play, and it just allows Jerron Seymour to be very patient, pick and choose because of the expansion of the defense. Just good design from the offensive coordinator, John Donovan.
Center out of the eye. Kimbrough to the 5-yard line. Ryan Kimbrough, the sophomore from Memphis. They have a skilled group of running backs. We've seen a lot of Seymour today. Kimbrough now getting back into the mix. And, of course, Wesley Tate still there. And Vanderbilt looking to seize major control in this game. If they can stick it in the end zone, it's going to be Robinette to the outside. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. Robinette walks it into the end zone. A 5-yard touchdown run. And Vandy goes up 16-0. And the look on the faces of the fans tells the whole story here in Gainesville. The only happy humans in this city right now are on that Vanderbilt sideline. Harry Spear to add the PAT. Good. 17-0 Vanderbilt. Freshman Patton Robinette takes the short field and gets it into the end zone. So 2 interceptions, setting up 2 Vanderbilt touchdowns. Commodores 17-0. While the frustration mounts on that sideline, across the way, unbridled joy with the way this thing's turning out. Let's send it down to the field in Elizabeth.
Earlier this week, I talked to Jordan Matthews about the freshman quarterback, Patton Robinette, and he said the last 2 games, he is fine. You know what? The best thing about him is he's a smart guy and he works hard. He said, having made the transition to the Texas A&M game and starting, we had to dial things back a little bit. All of that helped. Now he knows what he can and cannot do. He guaranteed me that that would carry over into the swamp today.
prophetic.
He was right. We go back and take a look at the touchdown. You see the motion, the play action fake in the backfield and what that does to the linebackers. Now, Florida was in that bare front, and what that is, they cover up the 3 inside guys, the center and both guards, and it doesn't allow you to get up on that second level with those linebackers. So Antonio Morrison, the leading tackler for this Florida Gators football team, had an opportunity to stop Patton Robinette, but he's able to break the tackle and put it in for a 17-0 lead for Vanderbilt.
This one will be returned by Patton from the goal line. Good special teams tackle made out to the 24-yard line, and a flag thrown at the 18. Jakari Thomas made the good downfield tackle for the Commodores. Referee Penn Wagers with his head linesman Jay Vines. .9:17 left before halftime.
During the return, holding on the receiving team, half the distance to the goal. First down.
And you can just see, I mean, Will just shaking his head.
You know,
these penalties, special teams penalties today.
Special teams penalties, you know, just starting them back in their own territory. And Florida, as we know, with all the struggles they've had on offense, this is not a football team that can afford to have these type of penalties. That, you know, they're not explosive on offense, and, you know, down 17-0, you can't put your offense behind the 8 ball more than they already are.
And where can the Gators go to get Tyler Murphy some plays to get some confidence?
You know, he's really just going to have to start creating some plays down the field with his, whether it be with his legs, buying some time. They're going to have to. They tried to take a shot on the last play. He was hit as he was throwing the football and wasn't able to step into it. But somehow they're going to have to get some explosive plays on this offense.
10, 13-yard line for Mack Brown. Redshirt junior from Lithonia, Georgia, has been the leading ball carrier in terms of numbers of attempts, but he's averaging less than 4 yards a carry.
We look at this football game right now. Jordan Matthews, only 2 catches in this football game. Patton Robinette, that is his only 2 completions, and they've got a 17-0 lead, but we still haven't seen Solomon Patton or Quentin Dunbar catch a ball for these Florida Gators. Get the ball in the hands of those speedy playmakers on the outside.
20 to the 22-yard line for Solomon Patton. That will be a first down for the Gators.
Gator fans, they're cheering about getting first downs now with this offense, the way they've been struggling. But that time they're able to find Solomon Patton. It's a zone coverage for Vanderbilt that time. He does a nice job of finding the seam, showing the quarterback his numbers, giving an opportunity to run after the catch.
Popped off Mack Brown as he gains it out to the 26-yard line. So Kelvin Taylor will come in for him for at least a play. And Tim, you mentioned the average starting position. Vandy, of course, taking it over in short fields. Their own 48 is their average starting position. Florida's average starting position, their own 20.
Yeah, it's a big deal. James Franklin, the head coach of Vanderbilt, told us 2 big things in this football game is going to decide the outcome is turnovers and field position. And right now, Vanderbilt is severely winning both of those.
Taylor steps over one Vandy man, gets it out to the 33. Well, the Gators getting it done here on the ground here to snap up another first down. Vince Taylor, the tackle. Out to the 33-yard line. A Gator offense that's averaging just 21 points a game, next to last in the SEC. And again, nothing for Mack on the handoff at the 31. A loss of 2 as Jake Seelan, sophomore from Tucker, Georgia, credited with that stop. 4th leading tackler for the Doors this year. Commodore defense has come up with 4 negative plays and 2 interceptions. Pressure forcing Murphy to run. Skids to the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39-yard line. To Elizabeth.
Well, Bob, when we talked to defensive coordinator Bob Shoup for Vandy, he said in November his team is still looking for an identity. He said, though, we're going through the batting lineup right now. We all know he's a huge baseball fan. He said, we went through Georgia, we won. Then we ran smack into Johnny football. Now it's time to make a move. He told his guys, everything can be erased up until this point. Things will be remembered how they played in November.
The throw on third down is complete. 50. Breaking a tackle is Dunbar, and he gets it down to the Vanderbilt 45-yard line.
It all started up front that time. Great protection from the offensive line. And now we're starting to see on this drive, Solomon Patton has caught a ball. That time they get the ball to Quentin Dunbar. You see very loose coverage in the secondary. They actually forgot about Quentin Dunbar. No one's covering him in that zone defense. And both of these guys have the ability to run after the catch. But look where it all starts. Tyler Murphy's able to sit back there, survey the defense, and you leave guys that wide open. Of course, he's going to hit them for big gains.
First down for the Gators. Mack to the 40. Yeah, looks like he's going to go down to 46. A loss of a yard. It's going to make it 2nd down and 11. It's just been 1 step forward, 2 back for the Gators offense today. And that, of course, for this ball club has been a season-long problem. Quarterback on the draw, over the 40 to the 38. That's shy of the first down. Tyler Murphy put together 3 rushing touchdowns this year. Former triple jump champion in high school. No questions about his athletic ability. And the Vandy coaches were saying, we really think he might throw better on the run.
Yeah, he's a very athletic guy. Yeah, he does a lot of nice things outside of the pocket. And you see that time they went with an empty backfield and just came to the quarterback draw. A lot of plays made on the ground from Tyler Murphy last week against Georgia. Look for him to do more of that today.
Murphy wants to throw, floats it, complete out to the 20-yard line. Making the grab is Westbrook. First down, Gators.
That time they get the matchup, they're tied in. 6'5", 255-pound Tevin Westbrook. He's matched up on the safety, Javon Marshall. It was man coverage. They go with the play-action fake, and it's just one-on-one coverage, and Westbrook wins that time, and Murphy's able to find him and deliver a strike.
17-yard gain for the junior from Coconut Creek, Florida. Well, the Gators spotted Georgia. A big lead last week in Jacksonville, came roaring back. Will it be the same script in the Swamp? Looking for their first points, and the throw goes over the top and incomplete to Showers.
A lot of pressure in the face that time of Tyler Murphy. Caleb Azubike, the defensive end, probably the best pass rusher for that Vanderbilt defense, was able to get to Tyler Murphy very quickly and force the errant throw.
Sophomore from Nashville is Caleb. Tyler Murphy now looking at a 2nd and 10 from the Commodore 21. Run! On the give, Taylor to the 16. Jakari Thomas the tackle.
Makes the tackle. 8 of 5. 3rd and 5 Gators at the 16.
This is what we were talking about last week. Had 3 points at halftime, but then rallied. And look at the yards allowed. That's Aaron Murray in Georgia you're talking about. Only 79 second-half yards. Pressure coming. Looking, throwing, incomplete, and a penalty flag.
Some pushing and shoving going on.
Yes, it was. I'm not sure it's against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Stephen Clark was fighting for position that time with Solomon Patton. I'm not sure if they got Patton for pushing off or not, but we'll let the referee sort that out.
Andre Howe, Stephen Clark fighting for every inch down there.
Pass interference. Number 12.
It is on David Clark.
Ball deflection. Foul. Automatic. First down.
And a good job of extending that play that time for Tyler Murphy. Pressure, you'll see they're going to bring the house on this blitz. They're all coming, and they get in the face of Tyler Murphy. He's able to escape, get outside on the perimeter, but in the secondary, that time it was Stephen Clark, the senior, fighting with Solomon Patton for position. And you can see that a little hold that time by Clark, and the officials were right there on the spot to make the call.
Goes to 10 Gators at the Commodore 11. Murphy's throwing statistics. Taylor busts it to the outside. And out of bounds at the 1. Kelvin Taylor. I thought he might make a try for that pylon.
Well, watch what he does to Kyle Westman, the defensive end. You can go ahead and run it as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Westman's going to be free right here, and watch Kelvin Taylor make him miss. He's able to, with his vision, to get to the outside, and that's just a lot of Kelvin Taylor on that one. They really didn't block that play very well, but that's the things that everyone here in Gatorland is so excited about, is this young freshman running back and Kelvin Taylor, those type of instinctual plays.
Florida timeout.
First timeout of the half.
Play clock was draining on Murphy, and Will Muschamp went streaking down the sideline to get that timeout call, stopping the clock with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the first half. Aerial coverage today provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. The city of oak trees, Gainesville, Florida. And the centerpiece to this campus, this magnificent stadium, Ben Hill Griffin at Florida Field. Homecoming weekend. And the Gators trying to crank it up and get into the end zone here before the first half is history. College football fans, SEC Gridiron Live and their greatest player tournament is down to the Final Four. This week, a showdown between Champ Bailey and Reggie White. And your vote could be the decider. Go to foxsportssouth.com to vote. Then watch Gridiron Live starring Tim Couch and Elizabeth Morrow. Wednesdays at 10 to see who is number 1. Supporting actors in the show are James Bates and Obi Mahala.
That's right. Fun crew. Bo Jackson already in the finals of that tournament, so whether it be Reggie White or Champ Bailey, whoever's going to face Bo is going to have a tough matchup.
13 plays, 90 yards to date on the drive for Florida. First and goal. Joyer in at fullback. Murphy bounced it. Oh, were they lucky on that play?
Dangerous play. Really dangerous.
Trying to get Taylor on the option. And this one double dribbled out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a great job that time. Big number 44, Baron Dixon, blowing that play up in a very dangerous pitch. The pitch relationship that time between Kelvin Taylor and Tyler Murphy was thrown off because of the penetration by big number 44, Baron Dixon, and forced Tyler Murphy to get off the angle that he was on, and that's what caused the errant pitch.
Across the Gators, 5 yards back to the 6. Second and goal. Looking. And that's incomplete. Intended for Burton, and that was thrown into the ground by Murphy. Oh, a nightmare continues for Florida here in the red zone.
Well, we talked about Murphy being an accurate passer on the run. This time, not so much.
No.
He's able to escape the pressure, and as he comes out and gets to the edge of this defense, you're going to see the tight end in the back of the end zone clear, and he's going to come open where Murphy had an opportunity to throw that football right on the chest of big number 87, Tevin Westbrook, but he chose to go to the corner. A very tough throw on the run, running away from that thing, Trey Burton, and he one-hopped it in at his feet.
3rd and goal from the 6.
Please reset the game clock to 1:58.
And we talked about Vanderbilt offensively, how well they've done this season in the red zone. One of the better teams in the SEC. Well, Florida, they're the worst ranked red zone offense in the SEC. Only 14 touchdowns in 31 attempts this year. And you see why. It's negative plays down here, missed opportunities when guys are getting open, not putting the football on.
Murphy to the end zone, incomplete, right at the goal line. And that was intended for Patton. And the Gators have to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, you can't put that one on Tyler Murphy. That time he did a nice job of putting it right on his wide receiver, Solomon Patton. Yes, it would have been a tough catch, but he put the ball on the back shoulder exactly where it had to be. Number 12, Stephen Clark, the defensive back, was closing in from the outside. That's the only place that that football could have been thrown, and Solomon Patton normally comes up with those.
23-yard attempt.
It's going to be Brad Phillips to attempt the field goal of 23 yards. And he nails it. The Gators have to settle for 3, but they are on the board with 1:47 to play before halftime. Big halftime coming up. We'll have all the scores and highlights for you on a big afternoon and night to come of SEC football. Ken Wagers coming over to talk to James Franklin. Our direct auto insurance coverage of the game. We'll go back and show you these picks by the Vanderbilt secondary.
It started with a misread from Tyler Murphy. He throws the football right to Andre Howell. It sets up that offense in tremendous field position. And from there, Jerron Seymour is able to take it in on the nice run and finish it off with some power. And then, once again, it's a forced throw from Tyler Murphy. Pressure in his face. The ball's just floated up over the middle of the field. And Kenny Ladler, the senior safety, is able to pick that thing off, set the offense up once again. And then from there, it's Patton Robinette breaking the tackle of the leading tackler from Florida, Antonio Morrison. And here we are at 17-3 Vanderbilt.
Austin Harden will be kicking it away. Darius Sims, number 6, at his goal line. 17-3 Vandy.
This is going to be an interesting decision here to see what James Franklin elects to do with his young quarterback on the road with the big lead up 17-3. A minute 45 or so when they get the ball here. Are they going to try and run the 2-minute drill, put some more points on the board before the half, or are they going to play this thing safe? Only one timeout remaining, so we'll see how they play this.
Vandy burned 2 timeouts in their first drive of the day. And now the Commodore offense will set up shop, 1st and 10 at their own 18. Patton Robinette.
Looks like they're going to be conservative and take a knee here.
But first, a timeout.
Now,
Burn the last one, right?
Vanderbilt, their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds timeout.
So Robinette comes over to talk to his head coach. This freshman from Maryville, Tennessee, thrust in and making that second SEC start. Things going great so far here in the Swamp as Vandy leads at 17-3. The coaches, Tim, were telling us during the week that they felt like Robinette could draw now on some of his own experience to help him through the road atmosphere today. Take us back to when you were coming into this league and how long it took you to get your feet on the ground.
You know, it's a process each and every week. You know, each experience is different. You know, obviously he had his first start at Texas A&M, and that's going to be one thing. But here today, I think they asked him to do a little bit too much in that A&M game. I really do. And Franklin admitted that. They probably put too much on him at the line of scrimmage with checks and things. Today, they've simplified it. They haven't asked him to do much. He's only completed 2 passes here today. They've relied on the run game. They've played great defense. He's been set up in tremendous field position, but he hasn't made the critical mistake so far in this game, and that's what's been key for Patton Robinette.
And the beneficiary of those 2 picks that set him up in great shape.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a team effort. If Vanderbilt's going to come in here and get a win today, the defense is going to have to do exactly what they've been doing, getting turnovers, holding Florida to field goals, not touchdowns when they get in the red zone, as they've already done that, and then Vanderbilt capitalizing off those turnovers, 14 points off those 2 turnovers.
Second and 8. Matthews comes in motion. Seymour with the carry. And the yard pickup to the 21. Now the Gators will burn one of their 2 remaining timeouts.
Gain of 1, 3rd down, 7. Vanderbilt 21-yard line.
30-second timeout for Florida. And the Gators having a chance to get the ball back here. Nightly on Fox Sports Live. Jay Onright, Dan O'Toole bring you all the scores, news, and highlights you need. So don't miss Fox Sports Live. It's nightly on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com now. Along with Tim Couch and Elizabeth Morrow, Bob Rathman back in the swamp. Vanderbilt building a 17-3 lead. And to your point, Tim, about what do you do if you're Vanderbilt? Do you try to run out the clock? Do you try to run a 2-minute drill? What do you do? Vandy opting to be conservative here, and it's sort of let the door open for the Gators.
It has, but I still agree with the decision from James Franklin to play it this way. Right now, college football is momentum is such a big thing in football in general. So the last thing you want to do is have a critical turnover this area of the field with your young quarterback and allow Florida to get some points on the board before they go into the half.
Seymour out of the Wildcat, but the play blown dead. A flag.
False start. 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Chase White, left guard, the guilty party. And the field gets a little shorter for the Gators here. 3rd and 12, 46 seconds.
49.
And Will Muschamp with a timeout in his back pocket. Clock reset to 49. Seymour out of the Wildcat. Gang tackled as he reaches the 19. Timeout Gators.
Florida.
So now you're putting a little more pressure on your punter, Taylor Hudson.
You really are, and we've seen him be inconsistent, as you talked about earlier, Bob. We've seen him kick balls off the side of his foot and those type of things. He's kicking right back into this win, so he's going to have to get off a nice kick here because he needs to flip this field, and Florida's going to be coming out and obviously the 2-minute drill trying to at least get another field goal on the board before they go into the locker room.
2 punts today for Taylor, and he's averaged 48 yards, had that 53-yard punt on his last try. 4th and 9. Taylor Hudson, of course, blocking kicks, a Florida specialty. Hargraves is the deep man this time. Gators go back to set up the coverage. Hargraves from the 30. And into Vanderbilt territory, out of bounds at the 47-yard line. 30 seconds to work with.
Great return that time from Vernon Hargraves, but excellent blocking from that punt return unit. And he just is able to pick and choose his lanes and set this Florida offense up with an opportunity to get some of those points if they so desperately need right now going into the locker room.
Hit as he throws, the arm coming forward. The ball is loose at midfield. And Vanderbilt has recovered. Tyler Murphy never knew what hit him.
Vanderbilt just rushing 4 guys this time. It's going to be Walker May, number 90, coming around the edge over there. Somehow they got a running back lined up on Walker May. It was Mac Brown trying to block the defensive end.
And recovery by the defense. Previous play is under further review.
And that's going to be very close. We'll see it one more time, but I'm not sure it was a Walker May, as I said, working on the running back, Mac Brown, that time. As the ball's going back, May gets his hand on it. Is it coming out as he goes forward? That's a tough call. He was able to hold on to that football a little longer than I thought and have it in his hand as Walker May was trying to strip it from behind.
So now, replay official Steve Landis is reviewing, and he will report down to referee Penn Wagers.
Initially, when I watched the play, I thought it came out right there as soon as Walker May hit Tyler Murphy, but he was able to hang on to that thing, and some strong hands to not allow May to strip it out of his hand initially, but he's got it there. He's still got control of it as it goes forward and into the ground.
21 seconds remain, and the play under review. You see our referee, one of the very best in the business, Penn Wagers, running our game on the field today. And I mentioned Steve Landis is our replay official. So we're going to have a fumble or an incomplete pass. And if Vandy gets it back, that'll be the half. So the coaches wait patiently. Will Muschamp and James Franklin. Will Muschamp, of course, hoping that his Gators can put on a second-half charge like they did last week.
Confirmed.
And it is a fumble.
It is a fumble. So the Commodores will snap it and head to the locker room. Third turnover. 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Looks like Vanderbilt, they're coming out in a spread formation. They may try to at least try to get a field goal out of this. 21 seconds to work with, no timeout still. But they could get a nice completion and spike this thing and set up a field goal opportunity.
Robinette is going to be sacked back at the 35-yard line. The pressure that time came from Ronald Powell. And he comes up with the sack. Had one last week against Georgia. Now the Commodores will head to the locker room as time expires in our first half. So the freshman, Patton Robinette, with a touchdown run of his own. Vandy taking advantage of 2 picks to score 14 points. And they lead at halftime, 17-3. Let's go down to the field on the Elizabeth.
Coach, you told us yesterday your defense has to play more consistent throughout the entire game. What are the adjustments?
Well, first drive, you had a scramble. We didn't fit the power very well, but we've had 3 turnovers, 2 of them inside our 20-yard line. That's tough to overcome.
And struggles in the red zone, but you get the ball back. What's the message at halftime?
Well, a lot of football to be played.
Thank you.
Head coach of the Gators, Will Muschamp, as we have reached halftime in Gainesville. Vanderbilt trying to upset the apple cart and spoil homecoming. 17-3 Commodores.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
And that will be the challenge for the Commodores these last 30 minutes of play. It will be Florida football, keep in mind, to begin this third period. Vanderbilt has enjoyed outstanding field position. Those turnovers playing a big part, giving Robinette and the offense a short field to work with. But now the Commodore defense will be called on to begin this third quarter. And we will see what the Gators have up their sleeve. Solomon Patton, the deep man for Florida. Ready to return the opening kickoff of the second half from Kerry Spear. Third quarter begins. And a short kick on the bounce. Patton breaks to the ankle touchdown saving tackle by the kicker Kerry Spear.
Well, they tried to kick that ball and keep it away from Solomon Patton, but the Florida upbacks just allowed that ball to bounce and continue to bounce, and Patton hit it on the dead run and almost took that thing back for a touchdown.
And you see Spear, number 39.
Boy, Spear doesn't get him.
Boy.
No one else back there.
How about your kicker making 2 big tackles on special teams today? 17-yard return out to the 35. So, Tim, what's your best guess on the Florida offense now? As they, which way you think they might go to get Murphy and the offense jump-started?
I just think they're going to have to get a little more aggressive in their passing game. Come out here just like they're getting ready to do here on first down. Throw this football, get it to these playmakers, because Solomon Patton and Quentin Dunbar can get it done on the outside. They just have to give them more of an opportunity.
A gain of 6. Solomon Patton making that reception. He is quite the playmaker out of Mobile, Alabama. The leading receiver in terms of yardage coming in for the Gators this season. Second catch today for 13 yards. On the give, Taylor. And it's going to set up third and short. Your first time seeing Tyler Murphy in person, your takeaways?
Well, I think he's doing an okay job. He's getting some pressure in his face. One thing that I think, he doesn't have a lot of experience at the quarterback position. No experience up until this year when he was forced into action. I don't think he's seeing the field very well today. I think he's forced some throws. He misread a coverage on the first interception. The second interception was due to a little bit of pressure in his face, but I really don't think he's seeing the field very well.
Vandy brings the heat. Vandy out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
It's Andrew Williamson.
Andrew Williamson coming up with the interception for Vanderbilt. One of their backup safeties, and he comes up with the third Vandy pick. And they've got the football to Florida 4-yard line.
Well, I'm going to put this one on Tyler Murphy. Now, Trey Burton did drop the football, but when you're running a crossing route like that, the last thing you can afford to do is throw the ball behind your receiver. Trey Burton running at full speed, trying to create some separation from Williamson. Here, Trey Burton, you're going to see him on the drag route, but watch where the ball is located. Burton has to almost turn his body all the way around. It bounces off his shoulder pads. You have to be extremely accurate. If you miss, you have to miss in front of the receiver.
Seymour out of the Wildcat. It's behind. I think that was Fitz Lassing trying to lead him through that hole. And it's down to about the 2-yard line. The third short field that Vandy's offense has been given, thanks to 3 interceptions. Vandy had a grand total of 5 picks coming in, 3 today, and it looks like all 3 are going to lead to points and maybe all 3 to touchdowns. Wildcat for Seymour. Touchdown.
Wow. The last thing Florida could afford. Come out here, an opportunity to get the ball first in the second half and throw a interception again and set Vanderbilt up with a short field. And once again, Vanderbilt puts it in the end zone off of a turnover.
And Seymour has his second touchdown of the afternoon. Now 45 yards on 16 carries. James Franklin in the face of Joe Townsend, who's center. Spears' extra point is good. And a stunning 21-point lead for the Vanderbilt Commodores in the Swamp. It's been 25 years since Vanderbilt has beaten Florida. That was in Nashville. And taking advantage of a third interception, leading to another touchdown. Great job by Williamson to hang on and take it down inside the 5. Vandy up 24-3.
SEC College Football is brought to you in part by South Walton, Florida. Go to visitsouthwalton.com to find your perfect beach.
(24-3) Vanderbilt. 12:47 to play, third quarter here, as the Commodores have taken full advantage of 3 Gator interceptions. A look at the SEC East, and of course both ball clubs, that magic number is 6. And of course for Vanderbilt it means another bowl game. For Florida, they can't believe they are fighting to become bowl eligible. A penalty on Vandy, and I believe it was a little skirmish that happened as the touchdown was being made on the center, Townsend. And this one will be sailed out of the end zone. I should say on Florida. Florida, yes. So now even more pressure mounts on the shoulders of Tyler Murphy.
It really does. And, you know, we talked about at the top of the show how Tyler Murphy is the backup quarterback. So they're already down to their second guy. And, you know, if you're wondering, why not put the other guy in? It's Skylar Morningwing. He has no experience whatsoever. And I'm not sure how much confidence the coaching staff has in him to come in and play in this football game. So it's going to be on Tyler Murphy's shoulders to go out and lead this offense and put some points on the board and try to find a way to get back in this game.
Mack Brown is his setback. Murphy throwing, and it is complete with Dunbar out to the 31-yard line. Defensive coordinator Bob Shue has done a masterful job. He's gotten the maximum out of his front four today in terms of putting pressure on the Gators.
He really has, and he's done a tremendous job of switching things up, showing Tyler Murphy different looks, bringing timely blitzes, getting in the face of Tyler Murphy, and also switching up these coverages. We've seen 3 interceptions today. They've been able to disguise their coverage on one. On the first interception by Howe, that led to a touchdown as well as the other 2 did, but he's been able to switch it up, and Tyler Murphy does not look comfortable facing this Vanderbilt defense.
Mack Brown taking it to the 34-yard line, and it will be third and about 1. But Vandy, Barrett Dixon's played a lot of snaps today, 44 that we just showed you. But now Murphy looks out for the play call, and now on 3rd and 1 from his own 35.
I expect Florida to run the ball to the right side behind their big right guard, John Jalapeno. Very good, very powerful football player, and just try to pick up this first down.
Brown gets to the outside, has the first down at the 37.
Well, they tried to go right behind John Jalapeno, but it wasn't there initially for Mack Brown. He did a nice job. There was pressure in his face, just a little bit of penetration over the right guard. You'll see as Jalapeno gets his man to the ground, but 44, Barron Dixon again forced the play to the outside, but good vision that time by Mack Brown to be able to bounce it to the outside and pick up a first down.
Barron Dixon has really played a monster game up front.
He really has, yeah. We've called his name quite a bit today.
Complete. Horton, penalty flag. Let's check in with Elizabeth.
Well, guys, we talked about Vandy's bye week, and during that, the older guys got to coach the redshirt, and the younger guys, they took ownership and in a way sort of paid forward. They made adjustments and were cracking on these guys. But Coach Franklin said at the end of the day, it relaxed them.
Yeah,
Okay.
once again, another penalty on these Florida Gators. So anytime seems like when they get something going offensively, a couple little completions. Now here they are again, faced with a 1st and long situation.
Florida is on its way to leading the SEC in penalties for a 3rd consecutive season. Murphy under siege, throws. It is complete. Trey Burton takes it to the 43-yard line.
That's something the Florida Gators started this football game out doing, getting the ball to Trey Burton in those seams in the middle of this Vanderbilt zone defense. I think they need to come back to that. There's some openings there in these seams. That time Vanderbilt brings the blitz to the right side of the quarterback, and it's picked up beautifully by that offensive line and running backs. As you can see, here comes the blitz off the edge right here in the face, and it's going to allow Tyler Murphy to step up in the pocket and find Trey Burton waiting in the zone coverage.
Brown nearing midfield, gets the 1st down.
And big pickup there that time. You're faced with 1st and 15. You're able to get a completion there and then go ahead and convert and keep these chains alive. It would have been a backbreaker for Florida offensively if they weren't able to stay on the field and get some points on this drive.
Tyler Murphy, 9 of 18, 3 picks, 101 yards. Last week against Georgia in Jacksonville, the Florida offense came alive, but Murphy has just been under siege today. They've knocked him down 5 times. They've hurried the quarterback 9 times. Penalty. Oh, timeout. Florida stops the clock with 9:24 to go in the 3rd period.
Florida, first timeout of the half.
We'll step aside with them and return to Gainesville, Florida. SEC College Football Saturday continues in just a moment. (24-3) Vandy, 9:24, 3rd quarter. Florida coming out of the timeout now. Faced with a footloose fresh set of downs. 1st and 10. Kevin Taylor getting a couple of yards. 74 of them in the Missouri game. 76 last week. 52 at LSU and showing bright promise for the future.
Yeah, a lot of promise for Kelvin Taylor here at Florida. He's going to be a special player by the time he leaves here.
Incomplete. Trying to force one into Solomon Patton.
Once again, another big hit on Murphy. It seems like every time we see Tyler Murphy throw the football, he's picking himself up off the ground at the end of the play. And that time it was number 92, Kyle Westman, coming off the edge. He's going to be working up there against the true freshman tackle. That's Trenton Brown. Brown does a nice job, but the play takes a long time to develop, and Westman's able to spin off to the inside and get a hit on the quarterback.
Every time they've gotten to him, they've knocked him down. 6 total hits on the quarterback. Murphy. And this one to the 45-yard line as Solomon Patton making the grab, but short of the 1st down. I mean, Vanderbilt is just bringing untold amount of heat on the quarterback.
And they're doing a good job. This time they bail out of it. Watch the linebackers. They show they're going to blitz in the A-gap, and then all of a sudden you get a full zone. It's a Tampa 2 type of coverage, and they just play into trying to come up, let the receiver catch the ball short of the sticks and rally and tackle, and Darius Sims did a nice job of coming up and getting Patton on the ground.
And Kelvin Taylor just got pushed right into his quarterback.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's one thing, with these freshman running backs, they always come in with a lot of ability to run the football, but pass protection is something you have to learn over time.
More pressure. Throw is complete. Dunbar 20, 15. Russell down at the 10-yard line. So they finally popped a big one to Quentin Dunbar.
And Bob Shute, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, been doing an outstanding job of switching up things. This time he elects to bring the house on Tyler Murphy, and they're going to run a little pick play here. It's going to be right here. They're going to run the slant, and you're going to see Vanderbilt bring the house, and watch what happens. It's one-on-one coverage. He's going to come underneath, and it's the pick right there. Andre Howell is picked off of Quentin Dunbar, and that's what allows Tyler Murphy to get the hands into one of his playmakers finally on the outside. You see what happens. You get those guys the football in space.
Jamel McIntosh made the touchdown-saving tackle. First and goal, Gators. And a flag, maybe a face mask.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, 45 defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Stephen Weatherly with the face mask that time, but more importantly, Darren Herring, their leading tacklers, or second on the team in tackles with 57, is down on the ground. See if we can take a look and see what happened to Herring. He's trying to make the play on Taylor, and not sure. See what went on with him, but he's grabbing that shoulder. You can see as he's going to the ground.
Darian Herring from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And one of the defensive leaders in the middle of that Vandy D. So an official's timeout at 7:34 for the injured player. That's about the first time that Bob Shoop's defense has been caught today in a blitz, all-out blitz situation.
Take a look at the last time Florida got down in the red zone. It started with a negative play on the errant pitch from Tyler Murphy trying to get it to Taylor, and then Murphy has an opportunity, had his tight end in the back of the end zone on this one. He elected to throw it in the ground to Trey Burton, and then you get a chance to get out here on the edge, and then Solomon Patton drops a potential touchdown. So just a lot of miscues, a lot of misreads, and a lot of negative plays have killed this Florida Gators offense in the red zone, not only in this football game, but for the entire season.
Vanderbilt has 96 yards of total offense, 6 first downs, and lead it by 21.
Unbelievable.
61, Will at the southwest corner. And there's today's Kangaroo Express, new topical slogan.
We'll dispatch Elizabeth to the sideline, see if she can learn anything on the injury to Herring. Murphy under center. First and goal after the penalty from the 5. Taylor, touchdown. Will that jumpstart a Florida comeback? 7:16 to play, third quarter. Austin Harden. Perfect 11 of 11 this year on PAT. And the Gators close to within 2 touchdowns. So after the Vandy score, Florida comes back. Kelvin Taylor with the score.
Hot Ties are back in Atlanta with a Coors Light game break. We head back to Knoxville, Tennessee, where the special teams unit of the Volunteers got a stern talking to at the halftime after giving up an 85-yard punt return to Chris Davis. However, they didn't mention the kickoff return. That's Corey Grant, 90 yards to the house for the touchdown, 48-23 midway through the third, guys.
And here in Gainesville, Vandy leads it now 24-10. Yeah, the Gators getting set to kick it off after the Kelvin Taylor 4-yard touchdown run.
We'll go back and look at this touchdown. Look at John Alapio right here. He's going to kick out the safety, Jamel McIntosh. He's going to pull around and watch the block he's able to get to put Kelvin Taylor into the end zone. Alapio, one of the most experienced players on that Florida offense, an offensive line that's been beat up all season, but he's been a constant. He's made 39 starts in his career here at Florida, and no guy better to run behind, especially down in the red zone, than Big John Alapio.
Tim, I get the feeling if Will Muschamp and the Gators are to turn this game around, this is the time. You've got the score. You're back within 2 touchdowns. Vandy's offense has been held to 96 total yards in the game. If they can force a 3-and-out, tilt the field, Florida might be able to get some momentum.
I think you're exactly right, Bob. And as well as Vanderbilt's defense has played, getting these turnovers, setting their offense up on a short field, at some point your offense is going to have to make some plays. Jordan Matthews only 2 catches in this football game. They're going to have to come out and win this game on offense because Florida's got a little momentum now. This defense is going to be juiced up to come out here and get their offense back out on the field as we see a flag come in at the end of this play.
Darius Sims wisely kept it in the end zone. And Vandy will get it. Where is the question? Van Wagers sorting out the penalty.
Unsportsmanlike, number 45 on Vanderbilt. 15 yards added on to the 25. First down.
That's Stephen Weatherly. That's the guy who had the face mask penalty as well on the last drive. So it's not going to make James Franklin very happy. This offense backed up even further in their own territory to start this drive.
So this will take the football back to about the 12-yard line. And that will make a tough task a little bit tougher against this Florida D.
The crowd's back into this football game. You can see a little bounce in the step of those Gators down there on defense. They're fired up. They knew they can get off the field here and set their offense up with nice field position.
Robinette under center. Seymour. Not much there. He was able to pick up a couple of to the 16. It'll be 2nd and long. Antonio Morrison led the charge for the Gators.
It's been a very conservative game plan for James Franklin in this Vanderbilt offense. They haven't had to do much because of the short fields, but at some point you can't hide your quarterback the whole game. You're going to have to ask your quarterback to make some of these tough throws down the field against those defensive backs from Florida.
Incomplete. You recall, if you were with us, you recall the opening drive. Vandy took it down the field. Couldn't get a touchdown, but they settled for the field goal. But they moved the ball well. Since that point, even with the short fields, 18 plays, 36 yards.
Yeah, it's been very little production on the offensive side of the ball for Vanderbilt. That time they tried to set up a screen to Jordan Matthews, but Florida played it really well and forced Patton Robinette to just throw that football away.
Crowd starting to make some noise on 3rd down for the Gator defense.
Gators look like they're showing blitz here.
Fowler creeping up in the gap. It's a rainbow down the sideline.
Oh, wow.
Caught! What a grab! And a first down for Vanderbilt.
And a flag down as well there in the secondary. Not sure if they're going to get someone for holding or is it going to be on the offense.
Jordan Matthews. Wow, what a catch. What a throw. But it all may get wiped out here.
Well, watch Jordan Matthews. Well, first of all, watch Patton Robinette step right into the throw of Leon Orr, hitting him right in the face. And look at the location on the throw to the outside of Jordan Matthews on the fade from the inside position. Beautiful throw and catch.
Pass interference. Number 24 on the defense is declined. The result of the play is a better option. First down.
And that was Brian Poole, the nickelback. Watch where they put Jordan Matthews on this play. It's a nice job of design by John Donovan. They're going to run the fade from the inside to the out. Here's going to be Jordan Matthews lined up. All this grass out here to work with. That's what allows Patton Robinette the room to throw the football because you run the fade from the inside slot position instead of to the outside where you run out of room towards the boundary.
Robinette cranks and throws, and it's complete to midfield. Nice grab by Trent Pruitt.
We said Patton Robinette was going to have to step up and make some throws, and these last two have been sensational. The throw to Jordan Matthews to pick up the big first down, and then that time pocket presence. A little pressure in his face. His first receiver wasn't open. He's able to come to the backside of that formation and get a completion. And you can see Matthews and wide receiver number 9, Trent Pruitt, working in that zone. He's just working on the little in route, but it was all made successful by Patton Robinette buying time within the pocket.
Kimbrough keeps his balance and eats up yardage to the 39.
It almost felt like when Patton Robinette made the throw to Jordan Matthews down the sideline, you kind of saw the air go out of that Florida defense. They came on the field and they were jumping around, and they thought they were going to be able to get a 3 and out and get their offense out on the field, but that throw really kind of took the wind out of the sails of Florida. Now they've got them back on their heels. 2 straight completions, and now Kimbrough on the 9-yard gain on first down. So this Florida defense is backpedaling a little bit now.
We talked about the yardage. They've got 48 yards on this drive.
Now it's starting to add up. And he's got a wide open receiver here.
And it is going to be complete. Or incomplete. Drops it. They know if he had long enough for the grab. Chris Quintero.
Yeah, they don't throw the football to the tight ends very often. That time they get Chris Quintero on the corner route, but Lucas Purifoy does a great job of coming off of his man and getting a hand on that football. He's going to be wide open. Robinette not able to step in and throw. It kind of floats on him, but you can see Purifoy pursuing from the inside out of that play and able to get his hands in and knock the ball away.
Terrific job. We talked about him earlier. Purifoy has that ability to make those spectacular plays, and Chris Quintero getting lectured to as he heads to the Vanderbilt sideline. A timeout on the field. 5:02 third quarter. 24-10 Vandy. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff leaders. Vanderbilt trying to get that 5th win with Kentucky, Tennessee left in the conference, and the finale against Wake Forest remaining. 3rd down and 1 for Vandy. 5:02 to play, 3rd quarter. Commodores rolling after the Florida touchdown. Robinette gives to Seymour. He's got the first down at the 37. Well, you talked about him earlier, Tim. Jerron Seymour at 5'7", powerfully built, 200 pounds.
I'll tell you who I'm impressed with besides Seymour in this football game is that offensive line for Vanderbilt. We said that the Florida defensive line had a big advantage coming to this game, but they took it as a challenge. Herb Hand, the offensive line coach there at Vanderbilt, he does an outstanding job with those guys. They're a little bit of an undersized unit, but they are very athletic out in space and uses them to pull a lot, and they've done a great job here in this football game.
Kimbrough to the 33-yard line. It was interesting. The Vanderbilt coaches this week were telling us that we've got to go down to Florida and we've got to match Florida's desperation. Well, they have met that, and they've met them with the athletic challenge as well.
Yeah, they really have, and that's kind of surprising. You see here Matthews getting the ball on the screen, but yeah, you're right, Bob. They matched the intensity early on in this football game. They had to kind of weather the storm a little bit, but they got off to such a good start in the offense, moving the ball like you said earlier. They didn't get the touchdown on the first drive, but they did get some points, and I think that's what led to the confidence. And once you start believing you can play with these guys, you start making some plays down the field.
3rd and 3. Robinette throws. Matthews with the grab, lunging for the line. And he's going to be short by about a yard.
They try to set up the kind of a little bit of a rub route to the outside with Matthews and Trent Pruitt, but watch what happens to Matthews. He's going to work up and come back. He's going to run into his own man, Pruitt, who's going to come out here and try to throw a block for him. You see he bumps into him there, kind of knocks him off his route a little bit and slows that play up, and that's why Matthews came up a half a yard short on that play.
4th and a long 1. We'll call it 2. Robinette calls his own number. He's got the first down, and the Commodores 1st and 10 at the Gator 23.
Big-time first down conversion that time for Patton Robinette. And that's several that they've made on this drive. They will stay on the field, and now they're getting down in here towards the red zone where they've been so successful all season long and in this game.
That's the second fourth down Vandy's converted in the game. I know you've been impressed with the poise of Robinette today.
I really have, yeah. Like we talked about, he hasn't really done a lot until this drive, and they've asked him to make some plays, and he's doing it.
Wildcat for Seymour.
Well, Seymour wanted to throw that.
Yes, he did. Now tucks it and gets out of bounds.
Jordan Matthews, you can see Matthews down the field pointing back at Seymour saying, good job of not throwing it because it wasn't there. And Matthews had a good play call, a good time to try to run that play. And Matthews went out like he was going to stalk block on the outside and then tried to take it up the sideline and for an easy touchdown. But Seymour at 5'7" couldn't see him or shouldn't have thrown it as well. So good job of holding on and getting some positive yards.
2nd and 7. Matthews coming out with Trent Pruitt to the wide side. No Jonathan Krause today, out with a leg injury. Robinette. Look at him drive. Going right for the stick. Antonio Morrison there, but Robinette showing some toughness on that one.
Yeah, a lot of toughness from Patton Robinette running the football today, and that's demoralizing to a defense. It's one thing to give up rushing yards to these running backs at Vanderbilt, but when the quarterback starts running the ball on you as effective as Patton Robinette has here today, it becomes very demoralizing to a defense. Good job, Seymour, throwing a block for his quarterback on the middle linebacker, Antonio Morrison. Also good blocking down the field by the wide receiver, the freshman, Jordan Cunningham.
Kimbrough. 2 to 12. Darren Kitchens credited with the tackle.
Vanderbilt hurrying up to the line, trying to snap this ball before Florida can get off the field, and they don't. There's an extra man on the field for Florida.
Kimbrough to the 9-yard line.
And you see James Franklin on the sideline. Look at him. He's going crazy over there on the sideline, yelling at the official, saying Florida didn't get off the field in time, and he's right. If we could go back and maybe show a replay, and I can show you Florida was not even close to being off the field on that play, and James Franklin is right. And you see they're trying to rush the man off right here. Watch this, and watch when the ball is snapped. You can see him, the ball snapped. He's 15 yards from being from the sideline. I'm not sure why that wasn't called.
Previous play is under further review.
Okay, there you go.
Remember, the camera never blinks.
The eye in the sky never lies.
Steve Landis saw what you just saw.
Franklin, he's laughing about it. Like, I can't believe he didn't see that. I mean, it's very obvious. You'll see it here. I think that's Leon Orr coming off the field. I'm not sure what the number is, but Vanderbilt quick snaps that thing. They get up to the line of scrimmage and trying to catch Florida in the substitution change, and they didn't get off the field in time. Yeah, here he is. See him. Right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and here's your 12th man trying to get off the field there. So yeah, it's going to be another penalty on Florida, which they've had too many of today already.
And field position, of course, is what sort of makes that possible, because Franklin can see what you can see, Tim, and that they've got that long haul from the opposite hash to get off. And he said, hurry up and snap it. We got him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're on the short hash towards their sideline, and they're able to get up there and snap that football and get a substitution change. And as Florida's trying to run a guy on and run a guy off, they quick snap it and not able to get him off in time.
29 seconds left in the third quarter. Discussion time ends, and Penn Wagers will tell us what they've decided.
After further review, there were 12 defensive players on the field. The ball was snapped at the 12-yard line. The 5-yard penalty would put it at the 7. It's second down.
At the end of the day, they get it right. That's what replay's for.
That's right.
And James Franklin is happy.
So 29 seconds left, third quarter. And Vandy knocking on the door one more time.
They're going to come out in this Wildcat formation again. They've been doing it all game long down in the red zone with Seymour at the Wildcat position. Robinette's out wide, and they're bringing in an extra offensive lineman in number 73, Chase White, and it's worked for them very successfully in this football game.
Play clock begins. Or does it? Now we're going to hold everything up here as
please set the game clock to 1 minute, 19 seconds. 1:19.
A lot of time added back.
That's a big chunk.
Sure is.
And the two clocks begin. From the 7. 2nd and 3. Seymour.
Damian Jacobs, the defensive tackle, with a nice play that time. He was in that Vanderbilt backfield before Seymour could get started.
3rd and 6. Have a feeling about a play call?
I would try to work the football to Jordan Matthews. I would move him around, get him off the outside, try to put him inside in the formation, and maybe work something over the middle of the field with Matthews here. They've got him one-on-one with Hargraves down on the outside here if they choose to go that angle.
Vandy's got to get to the 3-yard line for a first down. Seymour fakes the toss, cuts it back inside, and gets to about the 1-yard line.
I definitely didn't see that one coming. You get into the Wildcat situation. You bring your quarterback in motion, and you fake a toss sweep to your quarterback, and Florida buys it. Of course, they're not going to toss the ball back to the quarterback, and Seymour's able to keep that thing and get a big first down and keep this drive alive for Vanderbilt.
And the drive will continue when we go to the 4th quarter. Vandy content to let that clock expire. And it will be 1st and goal for Seymour and company when we return to Gainesville. Vanderbilt looking to make history. They are 1 quarter away from winning in Gainesville. And we will continue with the final quarter in just a moment on SEC College Football Saturday.
SEC College Football is brought to you in part by Toyota, Crystal, Regions Bank, and Frost Brewed Coors Light.
We are back with our Mitsubishi game summary. Vandy 24, Florida 10. And right now, the Gators have their backs firmly against the wall. A 15-minute period of time remains. And Vandy looking to recapture a 3-touchdown advantage. Bob Rathman, Tim Couch, Elizabeth Morrow back with you from Florida Field. And the Gators, John Bullard and that defensive front trying to keep Vandy out of the end zone. First down and goal. Robinette hands it off. Seymour looking for just a little crevice.
I thought he got in. He did. There's
yes,
the call.
Touchdown.
Number 3, Teron Seymour. A 1-yard Vanderbilt.
3rd touchdown today for the sophomore from Hialeah, Florida. And Vandy up 30-10 with the PAT pending.
And Seymour just getting behind that big offensive line, and fullback Fitz Lassing. You see great movement up front by the center, number 57, Joe Townsend, and the left guard, 53, Jake Bernstein, and just an easy run for Seymour.
Gary Spears' kick is good, and Vanderbilt goes up by 21, 31-10. Aerial coverage this afternoon provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Gainesville, the sun shining on the Vanderbilt Commodores.
It sure is. And It was a heck of a drive by Vanderbilt that time. Good answer by Pat and Robinette of making some big throws down the field. We said before that drive started that you can't hide your quarterback for long. You have to let him play this game, and boy, did he.
Our recap, our Husqvarna high-powered scoring drive. Pat and Robinette, that was the big play of the drive right there. That got them confidence.
That got them confidence, and it took the confidence away from Florida. Florida had a little momentum after their touchdown. The defense came out a little bit juiced up, but Pat and Robinette continued to make plays. 17-play drive starting on their own 12-yard line that time. They took a lot of time off the clock, and once again in the red zone, Vanderbilt able to capitalize, walk away with a touchdown.
Well, if the Gators were ever going to break one on a return, now's the time. Solomon Patton back on his own 7. Just the start of things, fourth quarter, and the Gators with a big mountain to climb. Spears sends it out of the end zone. So on the touchback, the Florida Gators go to work offensively. The Gators have lost only once to Vanderbilt in Gainesville. That was the first ever meeting in 1945. Wow. Vandy also beat Florida in Jacksonville in 1949. Can they break this 22-game losing streak to the Gators? They're in great shape. Murphy throws, and this is going to be incomplete. Intended for Showers. Another flag.
Offside, number 90 on defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Walker May, the guilty party. After the Gators got the touchdown run from Taylor to make it 24-10, Vanderbilt posting its second impressive drive of the game together. It was a forward pass, and it is complete over the 35 to the 38-yard line to Showers. As the Gators, they can't afford to waste a lot of time, even though we've got the whole fourth period to play.
Exactly. You see Florida starting to pick up the tempo a little bit. They get the drive started here with a little swing pass, a little screen, get some blocking out in front of Valdez Showers, and they come right back on the line of scrimmage with tempo.
14-yard pickup. Pass complete to the 45-yard line. This time it's Quentin Dunbar. And again, we'll turn it into a 2nd and 4 situation. Over the middle, Dunbar. First down, Florida at the Vandy 45. Well, maybe the quicker pace might be the answer right now for Taylor.
Yeah,
for Murphy.
Exactly. They need to change some things up, and it's working right now. And a good job that time of design by offensive coordinator Brent Peace. They get one of their fastest wide receivers in Quentin Dunbar matched up on a safety, and number 31, Javon Marshall, was able to get a first down.
The 45.
Complete to the 36-yard line. LaTroy Pittman.
Tyler Murphy in this offense contended throwing the football underneath this zone coverage. Vanderbilt playing not necessarily a prevent defense right now, but certainly more loose in that zone coverage than they've been all game long, and Murphy's just taking advantage underneath the cover.
And we've got movement up front by Trenton Brown.
False start, 74 offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's the young freshman making only his 2nd career start. He got his first one last week against Georgia, played pretty well, but as a freshman, you're going to have some of those type of mistakes, but he's going to be a really good football player before he leaves here.
One of 2 healthy tackles. True tackles at Florida's disposal today. This bullet goes right through the hands of Patton.
As a quarterback, sometimes you got to take a little bit off the football. You can't throw the fastball on every throw. It's only a 6-yard throw with the receiver right in front of you. Sometimes you have to take a little bit off, throw the changeup every now and then, and give your receiver an opportunity to catch that football.
3rd and 7. Boy, this is a big 3rd down here at midfield for the Gators.
It is, and obviously probably 4-down territory for Florida from here on out throughout this game. So don't necessarily have to get it all here on 3rd down. Just get a little bit and make 4th down a little more manageable.
Quarterback throws, and it is complete down to the 31-yard line. This time it's Ahmad Fullwood, and the Gators have the 1st down. Clock at 13:10. At the Vandy 31. Oh, nice grab at the 27 by Dunbar. Took that one right off the top of the grass.
He did, and the ball was low because Caleb Azubike was right in the face of Tyler Murphy. Again, we've talked about how much he's got hit here tonight, but watch him there. It's a hit right into the chest of Tyler Murphy, and a heck of a grab from Quentin Dunbar on the run, down at his feet. He's still able to pull that football in.
Mac Brown inside the 20. Thrown forward to the 17 by Kenny Ladler.
One thing we know about these Florida Gators is they're not going to quit. They got down big in that game against Florida last week. They put themselves in a big hole. Too big of a hole. They weren't able to come back and win that game, but they played throughout that game hard, and they're doing the same thing here. They're going to try and finish this game the right way.
And a big play. There comes number 55, Caleb Azubike. And what a play when Vandy needed to mute a little of this Florida momentum.
Yeah, it stops the momentum. You see Azubike working on that freshman tackle again. That's number 74, Trenton Brown. And Trenton Brown, it was a mistake in his blocking scheme. He blocked down and didn't even touch the defensive end, Caleb Azubike, and allowed him to come free to the quarterback. They're going to get holding on Brown here, too.
The pass is incomplete.
Yeah. He was beat quickly off the ball that time. He didn't get out of his stance very quick, and all he could do was grab and hold and take the hit off the quarterback.
But Caleb Azubike is another Vanderbilt Commodore defender that has just been a little bit quicker off the line of scrimmage today.
Right here, you see Walker May working with him, and he just takes him to the ground. And Florida has taken their young tackle, Trenton Brown, out of the game. He's on the sideline now, and they brought in number 63, Trip Thurman, to replace him. And just every now and then, these type of things happen with these young freshmen, whether it be at the quarterback position or offensive tackle, whatever. They get caught up in the game, and they make a couple negative plays, and then these penalties start adding up on you.
Azubike,
personal foul, grasping the face mask. 74 on the offense. 15 yards from the previous spot. 2nd down.
So it just can't be a hold. It's got to be a face mask.
Got to be a face mask as well, yeah.
So the ball back to the 38. There's Azubike, and this is a young man, a sophomore from Nashville. Leads the club in tackles for losses at 7.5. He's come up with a couple of quarterback sacks this year, but the pressure, the constant pressure that he has put on Florida today has just been relentless. Nothing from Mac Brown.
The fans don't like it. You're just trying to get a little bit of yardage back. I understand the call from Brent Peace that time. You got a little momentum going. Now you were faced with a 2nd and 31, and obviously Vanderbilt is playing a prevent defense, only rushing 3 guys, dropping 8 in coverage. You try to slip a draw in there, pick up 8-10 yards, but Vanderbilt played it well.
3rd down. Murphy steps up, throws, and it's going to be incomplete, nearly intercepted. Ladler was there, Andre Howell was there, and that close to a 4th pick.
Yeah, Andre Howell almost got his 2nd interception of the day, and the ball was just late from Tyler Murphy that time. The play is happening down the field. You have to anticipate those throws. It was a cover 2 zone. He was trying to work the ball in that little dead space between the safety coming over the top and the corner rolled up. He simply just waited too late to throw that football. Johnny
Townsend is in, and he'll be punting from the 50. Matthews to return for Vanderbilt.
Johnny Townsend, up formation.
High kick, but it's going to get into the end zone for the touchback. So the Gators come up empty. I think she's seen enough. She may be heading home. 31-10 Vanderbilt when we come back.
Ties are here. Let's check in on the action in Oxford, Mississippi. Already up 10 points. How about Bo Wallace? 361 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. This time to Dante Moncrief. Congratulations to the Ole Miss Rebels with their 6th win of the season. They are bowl eligible for the 2nd year in a row. Back to Gainesville.
Back in Gainesville, 31-10 Vanderbilt with 11:14 to play. And the Commodores with the football back. Kimbrough back of the line. Most of the Commodores are quite content to eat some clock now and protect this huge lead.
Yeah, just going to continue to run the football on this drive, not take a lot of chances down the field. I think any throws that we see are going to be very safe throws to the flat, possibly some screens. Just try to keep this clock moving and try to get out of the swamp with a rare win for Vanderbilt.
Kimbrough on the cutback. Picks up a couple. 3rd and 8. Many headlines tomorrow will talk about this from the Gator perspective. Obviously in this state, but around the country, as the Gators are going to fall under 500 if they lose this game. But that will diminish the hard work and the dedication. It's a new day in Vanderbilt under James Franklin.
Oh, it really is. And the job he's done in a very short period of time of changing the culture of that football team and making these players believe that they're capable of coming on the road and winning these type of games in the SEC and doing it. And you know, when it's a day where your offense doesn't have to do much, your defense comes out and plays so well in a game like this, and you're able to get a win, hang on, able to get a win, it'd be a huge program-building win for James Franklin.
Well, great job by Watkins to knock that ball away from Jordan Matthews. That would have been a first down. 9:41 to play in the 4th quarter. Talking with Coach Franklin this week as you look at the improvement during Coach Franklin's tenure. I was asking him about what the Georgia win meant for recruiting. He said, oh, we saw it right away, what that means in Atlanta. And what will it mean, Tim, for James Franklin to come into Florida and win?
It will be huge because there's quite a few players on this roster for Vanderbilt already from the state of Florida. Now it brings validity to his program. He walks into the living rooms of these young high school kids here in the state of Florida, and they've seen Vanderbilt come in here, and if they're able to win, not only win, but win big against these Florida Gators, it says a lot for his program.
And a group of high school players that have really not seen Vandy do anything but win the last 3 years. 9:28 to play. We'll return to Gainesville in a moment.
SEC football is brought to you in part by Husqvarna, the world's largest producer of outdoor power equipment.
31-10 Vandy, 9:28 to play. Our Regions Bank SEC greats for this week welcome us to the stadium here in Gainesville. The new Heisman Trophy winner statues that were revealed a couple of years ago. Tim Tebow, Steve Spurrier, Danny Werfel. It is a magnificent scene here in Gainesville. Number 15, of course, will always be remembered. So here we go, 1st and 10. Tyler Murphy gets the snap and throws over the middle, complete to the 35-yard line. So the grab made by Chris Thompson, another talented young player, freshman for the Gators. 31-10, Vandy. Complete to the 47-yard line, and Ahmad Fullwood. The quarterback who went down, Jeff Driscoll. And And you remember the game last year in Nashville, it was Driscoll who had 3 rushing touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
They put Florida over the top.
Exactly. 177 yards rushing in that football game as well.
Taylor.
It almost seemed like at the point when Jeff Driscoll went down that the fan base was down on him a little bit. They really didn't think he was playing that well, so they almost kind of just brushed that injury off because Tyler Murphy played so well in relief early on. But I think we're starting to see as the season is progressing how much you miss Jeff Driscoll in there and his ability to run the football and throw it as well.
A measurement for the first down. Stops the clock with 8:28 to play. Well, the Gators get a fresh set of downs. Tyler Murphy. In the air today, 19 for 31, 218 yards. But the 3 interceptions. Complete to the 20, and Trey Burton.
Great route that time from Trey Burton. He completely turned around the safety, Andrew Williamson, on the end route. Williamson thought Burton was going to go deep, and Burton spun him around and was able to break across his face, break across the middle for an easy throw and catch for Tyler Murphy and Trey Burton.
23-yard gain. And again, Burton making the grab to the 11.
If you're wondering why Florida didn't do this the entire game, why didn't they run, hurry up, why didn't they do this the whole game? Well, Vanderbilt's playing a completely different defense than they were early in the game. With a big lead, 31-10, they're more of in a prevent and just soft coverage. So these type of opportunities weren't really there early in the football game.
Batted away in the end zone by Paris Head.
Well, I think he caught that football.
Oh,
he did.
He got it for the touchdown. Oh, my, what a play by Fullwood.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
I tell you, that's going to be an interesting replay because that ball was tipped initially by Paris Head, and then it was kicked, I think, by either Paris Head or Fullwood. And as we go back and look at it here, you see Head tips the football, then he kicks it as he goes to the ground, and then Fullwood sticks his left arm out there and is able to snag that football in. An amazing catch by the 6'5" freshman, Ahmad Fullwood. Wow.
that was
unbelievable.
I thought that thing hit the ground. It his foot. And the kick makes it 31-17.
And Fullwood said, yeah, I just stuck that arm out there, man. No big deal. Yeah, I saw him kick it and just made the play.
Oh, my
You know who I feel bad for is Paris Head. He made a great play. He was in perfect position. He tips the ball, and then, unfortunately, his foot kicks it on the way down. And what a catch by Ahmad Fullwood. Get these Gators 17 points on the board, and you never know. They're back in it.
Coors Light says don't get flagged for breaking the law. It's a cold, hard fact. 21 means 21. So keep yourself and your friends in the game.
A drive that went 73 yards in 1:48 and ended with a crazy touchdown. Murphy goes 6 for 6. And this is our Z-Max performance play off the foot. Oh, man. I still can't get over this kick. Paris Head kicks it, tipped, caught for the touchdown.
Oh, you see Paris Head's reaction. That was priceless. He couldn't believe it. He said, I played this thing as perfectly as you can play a fade route to the back of the end zone, and he still catches the football.
Ahmad Fullwood with the touchdown reception. Murphy has thrown for 261 yards in the game, and that is a career high. Gators down 2 touchdowns with 7:40 to play. And the onside kick. And a penalty flag.
If they're going to get the Gators for being offsides on that one, does start it a little early.
Vanderbilt's Wesley Tate on the good hands team.
See if we can take a look and see if someone was offside. Yeah, down here at the bottom of the screen, just a touch offsides.
Dunbar or Hargraves, one of the two, but they both wear number 1.
Offside on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty will be added on the end of the kick. First down.
It was close there. I mean, wouldn't have counted anyway. They were offsides, but that ball was bouncing around there for a little bit. An opportunity to recover that.
From the 44. Dan Robinette, his second start of his career in the swamp. And Vandy on their way. They can control the clock and protect the football to snapping a 22-game losing streak in this series. Brian Kimbrough was the ball carrier to the 39. But to win a game in this place, you've got to get some breaks. And James Franklin's team not only has gotten them, they've forced a few, but they've cashed in on them. And I think that's probably the biggest story. The only win for Vandy in Gainesville back in 1945. In fact, that was the first game ever played between these two teams. Kimbrough to the 39.
25, Ryan Kimbrough.
2 timeouts for Florida. We're down to 6:42.
Pat Robinette doing a nice job of starting to milk this clock already. He's letting that 40-second play clock go all the way down to 2 seconds, 1 second before he snaps it. Even though there's 6 minutes and a half left in this football game, you still want to go ahead and start running that clock. Milk it as far as you can.
Play clock is at 10. Vandy on 3rd and 5. Kimbrough. Gators tackle him for a loss.
Jared Davis that time, the freshman linebacker, starting to get some action here on the defensive side. Football for Florida did a nice job of keeping contained and forcing Kimbrough to turn the ball back inside.
So back to the 42-yard line. Touchdown lead, 5:40 to play for James Franklin. And what he's done, Tim, in his 3 years, so many different breakthrough victories, beating a ranked Georgia team a couple of weeks back, and now to break through at Florida. Boy, these are monumental success stories for Vandy.
They really are. You go back to last season a little bit. They were 4-4 at the same point in the season. They go on and win 9 football games. They got an opportunity to do that now with their remaining schedule. If they can hold on to win this football game, you're talking about Kentucky's a winnable game, Tennessee's a winnable game, and certainly Wake Forest is a winnable game. So another opportunity to finish the season with 8 wins and possibly another bowl win for these Vanderbilt Commodores.
But this would be one to savor.
Yes, it would.
Gators couldn't get to it. Fair catch at the other end at the 14. So one last stab at it here for Florida. They get the ball back with 5:18 remaining, down 31-17.
SEC College Football is brought to you in part by CPI Security, Ford, Z-Max, and Direct Auto Insurance.
Bob Rathman, Tim Couch, Elizabeth Morrow back with you. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida Field. Homecoming 2013 with Vandy. Hopes to do the celebrating. Middle screen comes to Matt Brown. Over the 25 to the 27. Gators can't waste a second. The first down stops the clock at 5:11. Now resumes.
A good drive starter that time for Tyler Murphy. When you're in these hurry-up situations, you want to get that first completion, get the ball out of your hands, and get it moving.
A second completion to Chris Thompson. Gets the ball out to the 32-yard line.
Flag in the backfield, too.
After the 59, defense. 15 added to the end of the run. First down.
69 is Adam Butler. And That gives the Gators their first down at their own 46. Adam, a redshirt freshman from Duncanville, Texas.
Vanderbilt, you don't want to get too sloppy to finish this game off. The Gators, if they can get something in the end zone quick here, you never know what can happen. You start kicking onside kicks and those type of things. You've seen crazy stuff happen in college football before, so you need to tighten it up and clean it up a little bit on the defensive side of the ball for Vanderbilt.
Trey Burton taking it out of bounds. 4:44 remaining. Now the clock begins as the ball is marked for play. Sack. Tyler Murphy, just as he was stepping up to throw. And here comes Westman, and here come the Commodores.
We talked about the issues on the offensive line coming into this football game, but Trenton Brown, he was out of the game and replaced by 63, Trip Thurman, and he gets beat this time by Kyle Westman around the edge, and that's our charter high-speed hit of the game. And Tyler Murphy not expecting that hit. He thought he was going to be protected from that side of the field.
Timeout, Vanderbilt.
Vandy takes a timeout
of the half.
With 4:06 left in the game. Third down and 13 for the Gators. The pressure that Vandy has put on Tyler Murphy today, 10 quarterback hurries, 11 hits, 9 knockdowns, 2 sacks, you just saw the second, and 3 interceptions.
It's been a rough day, and if you wonder why Tyler Murphy has turned the football over so many times in this game as a quarterback, if you don't trust your offensive line and you feel like the clock in your head is moving even faster, that you don't have time to sit in there and go through your reads and progressions and deliver the football, things start speeding up, and that's when mistakes happen. And Vanderbilt has been in the face, as you mentioned, Bob, with all those stats of the entire game from the get-go. They've been in the face of Tyler Murphy.
Taylor out of bounds at the Vanderbilt 46. 4 minutes remaining.
That's exactly what you want to do when the best way to slow down a pass rush is to start slipping some screens and some draws in there. And that time they allow that rush of Vanderbilt to get up the field, and they dump the screen into Taylor behind it for a big gain. It sets up a 4th and short situation.
More laundry.
Just going to give a first down to Florida.
92 defense. 5-yard penalty. Penalty results in a first down.
Kyle Westman. He'd like to have that to do over.
Westman getting a little bit anxious. He's had a great day here today, getting after Tyler Murphy. Just a little quick in his start that time. Sets Florida up with a first down opportunity.
Batted down, incomplete. Quentin Dunbar, the anticipated receiver, but I think that was Herring.
Yeah, Herring on the
came over. He went down with an injury earlier in the game, obviously back, and Murphy now faced with a 2nd and 10. We're down to 3:42 to play. Batted down, incomplete. The ball tipped at the line of scrimmage.
It's Jared Morse, big number 97, got a hand on that football. They're trying to work the ball right there on the hashes like they've been able to do so far in the last couple drives. In that zone, they found a little dead spot there in the Vanderbilt secondary, but Morse not going to have it that time. Gets a big hand up and knocks that football down.
Third and 10. Vandy bringing the heat.
He's holding it.
Murphy gets rid of it.
Yeah, they're going to throw the flag. The ball never got back to the line of scrimmage. He was outside of the pocket, but it has to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And intentional grounding on the Gator quarterback. You got to do 2 things. You got to get outside that tackle box.
Number 3, offense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 4th down.
And you've got to get it over the line.
That's exactly right. Did a nice job. They brought the pressure up the middle in the A gap and forced Tyler Murphy to the outside. And he was outside of the tackle box, but he turned around and just kind of whipped that thing underhand with a left hand and nowhere near the line of scrimmage. So that's what drew the flag from the officials.
Stephen Clark. This Vandy defense has been terrific today.
They deserve a lot of credit. Those seniors in the secondary, Stephen Clark, Javon Marshall, Kenny Ladler, Andre Howell, they played a tremendous game along with that offensive front.
Oh, my goodness. Another hit. Caleb answers the call.
And a flag at the end of that play.
I mean, Murphy has been running for his life all day long.
Yeah, Zubike coming off the edge again, and Murphy just probably can't believe these guys. They've been in his face all game long and no opportunity to throw it away.
The ball turns over on downs. The ball belongs to Vanderbilt. Have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike, number 63 on Florida. Half the distance to the goal.
That's frustration out of Trip Thurman. He's the backup that is in the football game for Trenton Brown, the freshman that they took out earlier in the game because of some penalties and giving up some sacks. And Trip's frustrated as well. They just can't figure out an answer for that Vanderbilt defensive line.
11 penalties on the Gators for 97 yards. And whatever hope Florida had to make a comeback late goes by the boards. And it would take a miracle now as Vandy is down to the 10-yard line. In fact, inside the 10. Seymour. Gains to the 5.
Bob Shoup, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, did a nice job of switching things back up to the way they were doing earlier in the game. They were getting a little bit soft in their coverage, allowing Tyler Murphy to pick them apart underneath. And he said, you know, we're not going to sit back. We're going to start blitzing. We're going to start getting to you. And they did. They got home and they forced a couple of huge losses and obviously the intentional grounding penalty on Murphy.
Muschamp. His ball club will drop to 4-5. And suffering a fate that not too many Florida coaches have suffered, a loss to Vandy. Again, the penalty story, 31-17, 2:20 left. Robinette
Number 4.
to the line where it becomes 3rd and goal. The Commodores trying to put that November stretch run together again as they've done the previous 2 seasons. And what a whale of a game they have played today on the road. A freshman quarterback. And James Franklin's team took advantage of 2 interceptions for touchdowns early in the game, and they have not looked back. Never seriously threatened. Seymour tackled for a loss. John Bullard made the play. 4th and goal.
4th and goal.
This will take it down to about 50 seconds remaining as Spear comes in to try it. And does Franklin want to let the clock run out?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and let it run out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Delay of game, offense, number 10, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, this would make it about a 31-yarder. Vandy looks for 3 more. Spear had a 31-yard field goal today to open the scoring. And drills this one to in the scoring, it appears. Vanderbilt 34 and Florida 17. Injured player on the field for Vanderbilt.
That's Morris, number 97.
Yeah, that's Big Jared.
Yeah.
In on the field goal team, and I'm going to check on that right leg. Let's go down to the field in Elizabeth.
Well, Bob, the show that brings you everything you need to know about the SEC, and if nothing else, some comic relief. It's SEC Gridiron Live every Wednesday night at 10 Eastern on Fox Sports South. We have a very interesting feature with Coach Spurrier. He draws up the first play he ever called as Florida's head coach as we preview Florida and South Carolina, talk about this game, and I'm sure we will recap the big game tonight. Bob?
Not only do you get Coach Spurrier, but you get James Bates impersonating Coach Spurrier,
which I think is actually better than Coach Spurrier. Yeah, he's got a great Coach Spurrier, and well, we have a lot of fun on that show. James Bates, our host, makes it fun.
Yeah, let's hope for the best for Jared Morris as he is helped off the field. .45 seconds left, and the Vanderbilt Commodores next get set for Kentucky. They close it out in the conference at Tennessee in the final game November 30th against Wake Forest of the ACC. But one more step to becoming bowl eligible.
Yeah, big win here today for Vanderbilt. Obviously, they get an opportunity to run the table there with that schedule. And for Florida, you look where they're going from here. They may not make a bowl game. You know, you talk about Georgia Southern, then you got South Carolina, and then Florida State, who I think may be the best team in the country right now. So it's going to be a tough road to make a bowl game for these Florida Gators.
Gators haven't had a losing season since 1979.
Wow.
Touchback.
The kick game is 50 yards for a touchback. 10 Gators, 25.
Now the story of this game, the pressure that the Commodore defense put on Tyler Murphy. I mean, he really never had a chance. Obviously, he threw for close to 300 yards, but the pressure under which he was subjected just made his life miserable.
Yeah, forced him into some errant throws and some bad reads, and as I mentioned earlier, just that constant pressure when you're a quarterback and you're sitting in the pocket, you just don't feel comfortable. You don't feel like you can make the right reads and progressions, and when you start forcing things, and we've seen that out of Tyler a few times here tonight.
Tackle broken by DeMarcus Robinson. Out of bounds, stops the clock with 36 seconds.
It's got to be so tough on Will Muschamp to sit and take these type of losses and go through this type of season after 11-win season last year. And, you know, Bob, I kind of liken this Florida Gator team this year to what Missouri went through last year with Gary Pinkel. And, you know, everyone said Gary Pinkel was on the hot seat after all the success he's had there at Missouri over the years. And they were decimated by injuries last season on the offensive line. Their quarterback, James Franklin, was hurt most of the year. And you saw what type of year they had last year. It was a rough start for them their first year in the SEC. And now they're back healthy. And you see what they're doing now this year in the SEC. I think the same type of thing can happen with these Florida Gators. They've just been killed by injuries at the quarterback position on the offensive line. So it's a tough year to judge Will Muschamp and his coaching staff.
Incomplete. And this was a 11-win team last year.
11-win team last year, exactly. So I feel for Will Muschamp, but, you know, I don't want to take anything away from Vanderbilt. You know, even though Florida's banged up, you come in here in the swamp and you're able to get a victory, and no one feels sorry for you. Vanderbilt's banged up as well. So, you know, you give them credit. They came in and played a heck of a game. That coaching staff, we covered Vanderbilt a lot over the years, and James Franklin and Bob Shrews and John Donovan, they do an outstanding job of coming up with schemes and putting their guys in position to make plays, and they did a great job here today.
(34-17). First down with 19 seconds. This one is caught at the 36-yard line. Mac Brown taking that little bailout toss. SEC football from the Swamp is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And the time expires. A huge win for James Franklin and the Vanderbilt Commodores. They win in Gainesville for the first time since 1945, and they snap a 22-game losing streak to the Florida Gators. We will be back. Stay with us. Our final score, Vandy 34, Florida 17. Our final score today from Gainesville, Vandy 34 and Florida 17. My friend Tim Couch, an absolute joy working these games
always
with you.
A lot of fun.
And to Elizabeth Morrow and an entire Fox Sports SEC crew. This is Bob Rathman saying so long from the Swamp. Our final again, Vandy 34 and Florida 17. Thanks for joining us all season, everybody. So long from Gainesville, Florida.